Button. Button. Button has been pressed. And it looks
Button.
like we are... There we go. It's working now. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Hopefully nothing explodes. I can handle that.
I wish you could drop and share weapons too. Oh, I'd
I
get some good
I feel
legendaries for
like there
homies.
needs to be a character that ammo mules or something.
Yeah.
Or they give up an ability to have another weapon or something. I don't know. We can talk about that in a bit. I definitely think that what's there is fine.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the two new characters mostly because that means two new classes, not just like two skins. So I wonder what they have planned.
I kind of hoping to get more weird otherworldly stuff, even though we haven't touched any of the weird otherworldly stuff yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. I have a lot of opinions on this game, and I don't think I think it being just above normal is fine. Server issues are fine to point out, but I think some people are just being overly harsh on it because it's arcane.
Yeah. And because it's Microsoft. Even though it's technically not, it would have actually come out worse and sooner if Microsoft hadn't stepped in, but because they own them now, it's
Yeah.
Microsoft's fault.
Well, Roundhouse. I want to talk about that actually later, but Roundhouse was working on it too. They were on the opening credits here.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
The Hollow Man is watching. One life for safety. Join us before we come for you. Thanks, weird movie cinema poster fan. Oh, look, I found, or is this? It looked like a Deathloop reference, but now I'm not sure.
All right. And the tweet is sent, which means I can switch us over to footage and we can start talking not in third person, whatever. All right, we are live with the Redfall edition of the Fort Beggars podcast. Because that's probably going to be most of the conversation and conversations surrounding it. Because this game has been divisive, to say the least.
Yeah,
I'm
just released
Torloth.
too, so it's on everyone's mind.
Yep,
Oh,
I'm
and I
Torloth.
am
That's
Justin.
Justin. And we're going to get going. Okay. I have footage here. We grabbed our buddies Waffle and Draco and went to town. And the game was pretty good. I'm playing here on PC. I want to point that out for everyone.
Yeah, you can tell because it's moving at more than 30 FPS.
Environmental hazards. You guys are funny.
Yeah, is this right in the beginning where we immediately shoot
Yeah,
the
you gotta do the
generator?
thing and
Okay.
light yourselves up.
Yeah, there it is.
I also have some footage later of the glitch, the visual glitch
Which
with the
one?
car.
The car?
With the
Yeah.
car. Um,
We ran into some fun.
yeah, I had to keep like stopping and restarting the recording, and it remuxes in between, which takes a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so if something happens, I don't lose the recording.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just the
yeah,
way
we
it
ran
is.
into a few problems and it kept having to
It kept
restart.
booting us. You'll see it, and I'll try and fast forward through some of it because there was a lot of like weird server issues. But
Yeah, day one
a-
stuff in general.
after like a couple hours, though, it was fine. I think it was like a bunch of people were trying to jump
Yeah.
on, and then a bunch of people were like, screw it, we're done."
Yeah. I mean, servers in general on the first day always take a hit. I mean, this isn't like it was a crazy release, with a queue or anything, but it's on Game Pass. There's definitely enough people coming on that it would mess with the servers.
And
And I
I
think
think
that's
there's
part of the latency we had at first too. Like it wasn't the
Yeah.
game; it was server side.
Yeah, you will might hopefully you won't see any of the weird stutter because for the
Hmm.
most part I was well over 100 FPS. This is the game running about
It sounds nice.
medium-ish. It felt responsive in that. I hope that the 60 FPS patch for consoles is soon.
Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I played games at 30, and I'm playing this, and it's not bad. It's just you get so used to 60, especially in shooters, that when you go back, it's definitely noticeable. But it's
Yeah,
not
we found
game
this
changing
rock.
and depressing.
Yeah, we found
Oh
this
yeah,
rock. That's
that's right. That
that
happened
you
so early
can
on. We're hiding in.
you can hide in the rock. It I think it's just like a collision that's not there. It's also weird how dark
Yeah,
the footage is.
I
'Cause
wonder if that's because of the game brightness or just
it was
in
kind of
general. It's
inconsistent for
quiet.
sure. Hopefully, it's not too
Mhm.
bad for you guys on the other
It
end.
was Yeah, it was luckily fine for me, but the brightness options were actually weird. It only let me adjust the HDR brightness. It didn't have normal brightness settings, which is fine for me. I'm playing with
Yeah,
HDR, but
I have
what
a.
happens if someone
I
doesn't?
think a lot of my complaints with this game are with the menu system,
Yeah,
not with the actual like game itself.
I have a few gameplay problems, but they're all things that could still be fixed and adjusted. There's
Yeah, I think
nothing
a lot.
I've seen that's like,
I don't think the
can't be
game's
changed or fixed.
irredeemable like some people are going on about.
Yeah. A lot of people just wanted a perfect game, and from what we saw, even if it released non-buggy, Um, I don't think it was going to be that perfect game. It
No,
was always
this
going to be at best an 8.5 out of 10, and that's fine.
I think the sevens it's getting are fair. I think that's
Oh
right
yeah,
where it should
especially for the
be.
state it's in.
I think they're
Yeah, the
fair. Some
people
people
who
are
are
like,
giving it
oh,
twos
well,
and threes are ridiculous. Those are ratings for like a broken game that you can't play, constantly crashing, to desktop or your dashboard. People forget that like low ratings like that are reserved for games that are just completely unplayable.
yeah, this game is not unplayable, not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if it's something you will enjoy, that's going to depend on if you like the combat loop. And the thing is, the combat loop's fine.
Yeah, the gunplay is better than I thought it would be for an arcane game. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I love Prey, I love Deathloop, but the gun combat has never been their strong suit. Especially in those games, there's always something fun and different to use, like the abilities, alien powers.
It is
I
kind
feel
of a
like,
mashing of the two, for
yeah,
sure.
especially with your character's abilities, each little class feels like it's trying to harbor some of that.
Yeah, I could only use my little robot friend here. He's friendly.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah. So
I
he'll
love
like
it.
go out
Oh,
and
sorry,
make a
go on.
bunch of noise and distract people. Uh, I got the other two abilities to work this morning. I think it was a server side bug or something that was stopping them from
Yeah.
working, but I couldn't use the ultimate ability as they call it, or my other button there. You also notice that the text on the under the buttons is super big and cupping over itself.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's
Oh,
thumb
yeah.
button
Why is
page
that? That's
up
huge.
and T. I guess because they expect it to be straight letters or something. Usually, when
Hmm.
you have like a thumb button, you just have a picture of a mouse with the button because it's
Yeah.
set to one of
Well,
the
we
side
were actually
buttons on
getting
my
some icon
mouse.
issues too. Sometimes there'd be a white square next to someone instead of like their name,
Yeah, you could have seen
instead of
that.
like the target symbol.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a weird UI, bitches.
Yeah, and I get it. Unreal Engine is known for some jankiness, plus they are known for some jankiness. So a combo of the two with
Yes,
no
and
fixes in sight.
I'm so glad there's someone else here to back me up here. Arcane games, while they're really good and really fun, they're all kind of jank.
Oh,
Let's be real
absolutely.
here. They're jank, but people like that kind of jank, and that's fine.
Yeah,
It's totally okay to like that. It's not okay to ridicule a game for being. I've been people like this is not a very arcane game. I disagree. It's very arcane,
yeah. I
but
mean, it feels
they're
like
just
Deathloop at some points with, the scenery.
yeah.
It's very similar.
But it's not. It's like multiplayer is not their strong suit, and that is
Yeah, this is
clear
their
as day to
first
see.
foray really into it.
Deathloop has like PvP, but
Kinda. I mean, I played through that a lot, and the PvP-ish was basically you just had two people on the same instance and map, but they couldn't even interact with the same stuff. It was
yeah,
mostly like one person kind of helped the AIs and set up traps, but it felt very distanced. Like I played with someone once, they invaded my world. I didn't even realize for most of the game because they were off doing their own thing, didn't interact with me. And I saw them for like 5 minutes after I killed them and went to the exit. The only reason I even knew it was another human is because it told me at the end, like, you killed this player. I had no idea. It felt like a computer or an AI or something. So it
yeah.
just didn't feel very much like a joint experience. Whereas this one, you can definitely see the impact of having friends. And I felt that by trying to play by myself after. It's not that it's bad, it's just you start to rely on your friends as their different classes and the ability to revive you.
Different
And
classes.
yeah, you got
We can
your
talk about
little
that in a
robot.
second.
It's true. All right, I'll focus on that in a sec if we're still talking about the jankiness. Um, One thing I will say is I'm hoping that uh, some of the jank gets fixed, but I don't mind if some of it stays because I can appreciate certain aspects. It's kind of like how, Fallout has a very specific kind of jank to it, and Elder Scrolls has a different kind. Like a lot of Bethesda games have jank. It's just each one's kind of specific to their game series, and
Unless you're
it's not
Doom.
necessarily a
Doom
bad
Doom
thing.
doesn't have jank. ID
True,
Software
but that's
games are
more than
like
it. Yeah,
they're like polished as thing, but everything is just super serious and they will lean into anything, even if
yeah,
it's
it's
really dumb
great.
source material. So they're the
Yeah,
I'd say they're the Bethesda odd duck out, but in a kind of a good way.
yeah, they're like the exception, but not the rule for
Yeah.
not having jank. I think the biggest egregious thing is the fact that they have Doodle Donuts, but not Dunkin' Donuts. As a Massachusetts resident myself, when a game takes place in my home state, I'm looking for staples. I'm looking for angry Bostonians cussing at me. I'm looking for sports memorabilia. I'm looking for donkeys. I found smoochies and a lot of angry vampires, but I haven't found anything that makes me think this is Massachusetts yet. And half of that's obviously a joke, but the other half is I'm curious to see why they picked Massachusetts, if they're going to use some of the landmarks, if they just wanted an excuse to have the different
Because
colors to the
Massachusetts is
trees.
spooky pay. And they have
But we
like
do have like
Halloween.
Salem and stuff. We got
Yeah,
all
but it's
sorts
not
of
in
spook.
Salem, which is weird.
I know it's in like a made well, I say made up. I'm not 100% sure, but I've never heard of Redfall in my state.
I mean, you could look it up.
I could,
You
but I'm worried it's going to yell at me. But let's try it. Is it
can
going to
just
tell
look at
me you're stupid? It's a game.
you're stupid. It's just a game. It's possible. It's just a game. It's a fictional city.
Yeah, of course it's a thing on Google. The game is set within the fictional titular island town of Redfall. So like I thought, it's not a real place.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, this isn't Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah. Is Tokyo real? Let me Google it.
Let me Google it. I'm gonna hang out in Shibuya.
Everyone knows it's pronounced Shiba Uya, and their mascot is a Shiba. Duh. Their only currency is Dogecoin. I
No,
forget what made us
Akihabara
talk
has
about that.
the lonely dog in it. There is a dog in Shibuya though. Dog statue in Shibuya.
Yeah, is that the one? I forget his name, the dog
It's
that
not.
kept going to the train.
No, it's not that one. That one's in
Okay.
Akihabara, I think.
All right. I know a couple of dog statues, and they're all for sad reasons, but they're also wholesome.
Sad, yes. I don't want to get into it. No one just press people with uppers.
Yeah. So
Honestly,
go
I
on.
didn't like handguns. Most of the handguns in this game I did not like. I know you got the super fancy special one. Revolvers were
Yeah.
okay, but any of the automatic handguns, I was like, eh.
There's automatic handguns?
Like semi-auto or full auto.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like full auto. I was like, oh, I didn't find any
Anyone
machine
that
pistols.
takes a clip, I mean.
Gotcha. Yeah, the only pistol I really enjoyed was that one I found. It's an M1911. I recently found a different legendary one, and it was a Deagle, but I don't like it as much. only because it's very inaccurate. Like even aiming down the iron sights, it just feels like I don't know if it's the kick or what it is, but I'm not hitting shots that otherwise my other weapons I'm hitting. So I'm not as
Yeah.
big of a fan with that one. I'm sure the revolver's got a similar feeling.
Revolver does has a decent amount of kick, but it headshots like a beast. I think
Yeah,
yeah,
this thing when it
Waffle was
hits
trying to switch over
is.
to PC at this point, so the footage might
Oh
just
yeah.
like pause and then come back, or just like messing around waiting for him.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then the best part is when he came back, he's like, "It didn't work. We
yeah,
didn't
he
have
was
any
having
idea."
some weird issues with the Windows Store version, which I did
Yeah, I
not
hit
have.
download it like 3 times, I think.
Yeah, but
I feel bad for him too because he left right before the servers got really good again. Like they stopped kicking us.
yeah, the servers got really good after because we made one more game and then he's like, "All right, I gotta go," and it's like, so we kind of had a bad experience with the game. So
Yeah, I'm hoping we can fix that next time we play with him.
okay, so we'll talk about the classes quick. Since Draco and Justin decided to play edgy sniper guy and then both play them like Leroy Jenkins.
I mean, I played a little bit of both. I didn't have a lot of long range weapons, so I kind of had to run close. Although Draco just, he's like, this is my play style.
This is how I play. I'm just like,
I use
okay.
shotguns. Yeah,
So I was
I don't
just
know if he
trying to
picked the
keep him
right
in
character for
eyesight
that.
so I could send my little robot to go be a distraction for him.
And his distraction's cute. He wags his tail really fast, and it creates one of those light images.
Yeah.
Uh, I forget what those are called.
I think it is a hologram, but it might
Yeah,
not be, but it is. It just makes like a thing, and you're just like, yeah, this is so cool. And he
yeah.
makes a lot of
He
noise, and people go and go to fight him, and then he shoots
they
people.
bully the poor thing. He's like a dog, except when he does the hip thrust bullets. Those are less dog-like.
He just
Whenever he
shoots
shoots, he
people.
does like a like forward on his weird legs. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan. What's his name?
Uh, Bribun? Bribon? It's I think it's
Oh, that's right. It's like
Spanish.
French or something. Oh, is it Spanish?
Spanish red? I couldn't tell you. Uh, we should have asked. I should have asked Draco
No,
because
that makes too
he
much
had
sense.
lots of comments about the character,
He
but
did.
uh,
He was a
I
big fan.
I think that's a little mean to Draco, but
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it. He's not a fan of the token characters in games, especially when it's his ethnicity, and I can completely understand that. I think
it's
representation is a big thing in all games these days. You
yeah.
know, you
That's
want
why I
to,
don't want to like comment on it too much. But he
yeah,
basically went on like a rant later because he's like, "There she goes again." And I'm like, I didn't pick her because she was. I picked her because she had the support kit, and the kit sounded fun.
yeah.
So ability one is you send your bribon in as a distraction, and he like wags his tail, does his little thing, and everyone goes to fight him. Ability two is you throw C4, and then you can
That's what
detonate it
supports
on the
do.
same button. And then their ultimate ability is like you make like a rally point, and everyone gets healed inside of it. I don't have
Does
any
that one
footage of
also
this.
revive?
You can perk it to revive, but by default, no.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is kind of sick that you can just like walk in, drop the thing, and revive. Some of the perks are very interesting. There's one that lets Brivo, I don't believe it's Brivo, have his own little rally point around him,
Oh,
and
that's
then
cute.
one that's like a passive where you'll get healed if you're by it.
Ah, for my character's class, he has a headshot damage increase for teammates around him. So I guess he
Oh,
focuses a little more on precision, whereas yours is the healer, which makes sense class-wise.
that would totally explain why I was getting like 4 or 5 thousand damage on my shots. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
the
Like,
uh the Jacob class is definitely about assisting teammates with headshot damage and in general. Like when I mark an enemy, whether it's by aiming down sights or with the bird, it makes them take more damage from all sources, especially from teammates. So I think he's all about precision and damage with the stealth and detecting enemies for teammates. I have no idea about the other two though, because we didn't really have anyone in the group
Um,
that was using their abilities often.
uh, Awful was playing. Oh, what's
I
his
think
name?
Dev is his nickname.
Devinder? Is it Devinder or Did? I think it's Devinder. Uh,
It might be, yeah, because they
yeah,
call him Dev,
yeah, they
and
call
I
him Dev.
can't think of what else it would be short for.
But he's got some sort of like electric electrified stake he shoots out.
Yeah, and he's got a little UV light thing he can slam down. I don't know if that's his ultimate or not, but UV light is super important, and you definitely want someone on your team with a weapon that uses one.
Yeah,
Besides petrifying vamps, there's these cherry-colored smoke clouds, and they're being emitted by a gross pulsating
it's a
pile of
cocoon.
vampire stuff. Yeah, and it's uh like blood smoke. And if you
Yeah,
shoot the UV light at them, it turns them to stone, and then you can just walk up and punch it or shoot it, and it destroys it, so you don't have to deal with the smoke. It's actually kind of interesting.
I also figured out those little. I know we didn't. I don't think you have footage of them, but when you kill like a vampire, you get
Hmm.
is it little bubbles that spawn that give you alt
Oh
charge?
yeah, the blue things.
Yeah. So there's the little jars we saw. You could just melee those, and they'll give
Oh,
you them. You have to melee them or shoot them to get the alt charge out.
gotcha.
But that's how it works. I figured it out. I was
Yeah,
like,
I had been leaving them there because I'm like, well, I can't pick it up. I must be full of whatever it gives me. That makes more
no,
sense.
it. Yeah, you have to break them. But it's nice because then you can save them for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of just
So
accidentally
these
filling up.
Gravelock things seem to be the like story and plot. It's around like this woman
Yeah,
who they
they're
were
like voice
experimenting on.
recordings.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think it's the woman from the opening, because
Yeah.
at first I thought it was Layla or Lila, uh, the psychic girl, but I realized it's not her voice. It's this young woman that hasn't been seen yet. So I don't know if she's going to be like the head vampire or the one trying to stop it all, but um, it sounds like they used her blood and did a lot of experiments on her, and that's what helped create the vampire formula.
Yeah, and caused this whole thing. That seems to be that was my takeaway is Big Bad Company used this person who thought they were going to do good.
Yeah, to like cure diseases and stuff. Like they definitely made it sound plausible. It wasn't just like, mumbo jumbo. They're like, oh, with your disease, we can take the cells and cure this disease and stuff and that. But
Yeah.
apparently there's like an underground community in this town, and they're all researching uh, eternal life, and that's what this, vampire thing comes from. They're like a whole cult of people with intelligent scientists and lots of money. They're all Bruce Wayne.
They're all Bruce Wayne. But bad
I
Bruce
will
Wayne.
say, yeah, evil Bruce Wayne, Owlman instead of Batman. The customization surprised me. I didn't expect there to be much, but there's a ton that you can put on guns between skins and stakes. There's outfits, but it's not just outfits. You got headpieces, backpacks, bodies, or full outfits. I found a furry costume. I don't know why, but it's a
I had a
wolf.
furry costume too, actually. I just don't want to wear it because I didn't want to get you all excited.
What kind of furry animal did you get? Was it also a wolf?
It didn't. I think it was both. Yeah.
Because
I
I
wonder
only
if
saw
that's
the
like a joke.
Well, that's what I mean. I couldn't tell if it was werewolves versus vampires or because my guy's named Jacob. If it was a Twilight reference, Team Jacob being the werewolves against vampires. So I was like, oh, it's either cute or it's unintentionally funny. But yeah, it's there's a surprisingly good amount of customization, and it's not behind any paywalls, no microtransactions. So as far as I can see, I can appreciate those aspects because this game, if it played anywhere similar to this, the way it was originally, would have been games as a service, always online, filled with microtransactions, and they're trying to implement some offline stuff. At the moment, it's still kind of always online. Like if your server crashes, you can't play. But I can't say it's in the games as a service vein because it seems like they're giving us
It
everything
feels more like
without
the
charging
old
us.
Borderlands,
Yeah,
really, where it was you could play it online, but you don't have to.
yeah.
And it's not like there's anything you have to buy to get better. It is the content's kind of the one thing I don't like is the way the progression's handled.
The level ups or the guns?
No, the way story progression's handled.
Hmm.
So, story progression when you play with your buds, it's it's bound to the game host, whoever's hosting the
Yeah.
match.
Or the
So
progress is, right? We should say.
their story progress is like you'll get landmarks and stuff when you go back and play by yourself, but we're bound to Draco's story
I think it was Waffle actually.
progress. Was it Waffle? Waffle was
Yeah,
the
which is
first
why
one
it was
here.
unfortunate. Yeah, that he left first because that's why we went to my world after. All the progress we made had kind of reset a bit.
Yeah, so
Um,
everyone had to start over again. It's
but it's only the story, which can be frustrating. But at least like the guns, your level progress, items, money, locations, like a lot of that does transfer. But the way the save system works, it only saves up to your most recent checkpoint, which is usually an optional objective. So unless you're chilling somewhere, if the server crashes like it did, sometimes you just lose a lot of progress. And because everything's randomized, you can still get some things. Like I would keep going to a big safe and I was trying to crack it and got blown up a few times. But when I did go, the rewards were different. So if it crashes, I don't think it will as much anymore, but if it does or you leave too early, you might lose that equipment, and even if you go back, it could be different. So there's a good and a bad side to that. You know, you can refresh things to get rid of shitty items, but you also might lose something good.
yeah. I think the other interesting bit is the way the world kind of repopulates things.
Yeah. And I get what they're trying to do because it has a day
Hmm.
and night cycle. And it seems like during the day there's much less enemies, which would make sense because it's daytime but vampires. But they did block the sun so they can survive during the day. And also there's human enemies that are hoping to become vampires, the coat people who are at the low end of the ladder.
You're gonna get
And
eaten. They should know that.
oh, I
Bring
know
your
one of the
bring
dialogue I
someone
heard.
else. We'll save you.
It was actually great. The dialogue I heard when I was stealthing behind someone, they're kind of talking to their buddy about stuff. One of them was like, "I only have one more sacrifice until I finally get to get bitten and become one of them." And the guy's like, "Bro, you know they're gonna rip us off. We got at least five more." And he's like, "Nah, man, this is the one time for sure where I'm finally gonna get bit." And it was just like you could hear the depression in their voice of like, "I know it's not gonna happen, but I gotta hope." And it felt interesting to have that little bit of life in the characters. I haven't seen a lot of that since then. Um, I don't know if it's because,
We shoot first,
you
ask
know,
questions later most of the time.
yeah, I don't know if it's because we just murder them too quickly, but um, the world can feel a bit empty at times. The locations are nice, but there's not as much going on. There's kind of the random NPC that spawns in the safe house after you unlock it, but they don't really do much. I'm not saying it should be populated with tons of people, and there's vampires everywhere. It's a bad place, but like it does feel a bit barren sometimes. So I'm hoping they can fill that up with a bit of stuff, whether it's some music in different areas, whether it's uh, to assist the environmental storytelling, just some people or cultists that are around. The game reminds me a lot of Left 4 Dead 1 and a bit of Left 4 Dead 2. It's got a little bit of that jank. Ironically, graphics are kind of similar, and it feels more about the gameplay than the story, even though there's some story there. And while the story is interesting, and I'd love to explore it, it almost feels like the game doesn't care as much.
It's like the
It,
game can't care as much because it's co-op. It's
yeah,
it's almost like the two are at odds with each other.
which sucks because, as we know, it was supposed to be developed as a games as a service. So no matter how cool the story was, it was never going to be able to be told the way they wanted to because it was designed to be a multiplayer experience.
Yeah, there's
To
like
the
a
point where even
million
playing
notes
alone is
everywhere,
rough.
just like every other
Yes.
arcane game. Like you pick up so many notes and things, and you're just like, oh yeah, check this
And the
out.
game
This is
tries
great.
to be helpful too. Like one guy picks it up and everyone in your party picks it up. But then if you try to interact with it again, nothing happens. So you have to go search your inventory in the archive for what the hell you picked up, and at that point, everyone's already moving to the next spot.
Yeah, a
It's
lot of those
it
notes
could use some
matter.
tuning.
A lot of those notes matter on which like order you do stuff in, I should say.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's also tons of tidbits and lore and stuff
well, I
just sitting
mean,
around.
you find like that note in the lock. There's a note in the locker. If that wasn't in the
Hmm.
locker in the fire department, it could be just any thing. It's like where does this come from?
Yeah. I actually just noticed when I was curious, I went to my archive. I have 50 notes just for the world. I didn't know I had that many, and I might not even picked up half of them, but
That's
I
what I
remember
mean.
some of the lore ones.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'll always grab them or whatever. I think the other thing that's kind of annoying is the sinks.
Oh my God, the sinks and the toilets.
You can interact with them, but there's always like stuff on top of them. So you're trying to
Yeah.
like grab the stuff and you
You're just
accidentally
going
like
like,
flush the toilet or turn on the
oh.
sink. And it's like,
And I will say,
ah,
I appreciate the fact that they're trying to make environmental noises for what you hit, but if I hit something glass related and it makes shattering glass noises, it needs to shatter. Or it needs to stop making a noise after. I can't keep punching toilets and windows and having them continuously sound like I'm taking a bat to a window, but nothing happens. It's just jarring a bit, especially when you accidentally hit it and then you try to break through it and you just keep slamming a window that doesn't interact and it keeps shattering like, you know, sound wise. It's just disorienting.
oh, that's when, yeah. I had this weird issue where my mouse went off the screen.
I remember you were saying that. You were like, I've had the tab open and weirdly I was moving still, or something like that.
Yeah, like I was interacting with the game and then I'd click and it'd be like, oh, you want to be in this window? I'm like, what? No. If you have multiple monitors, just keep that in mind. Make sure you actually like clicked on the window. Otherwise, you might get weird issues.
On a positive note, and I'm just saying this because I saw you picking up loot with someone, it doesn't take the original Borderlands approach where you all share everything and you fight to the death over it. Everyone has unique instances of items, so you can loot everything to your heart's content and don't worry about your buddies not getting anything. I appreciate that. All looter shooters need to do that, and I'm always sad when they don't. Nobody ever wants to share, especially if you play with randoms. You're just never gonna find anyone. It's
I
first
didn't
come,
see
first
a
serve.
random option. Did you see a random option?
So far, I didn't. I saw host game and play,
Yeah, I
and
didn't see like a
I,
quick play option, and I don't know if
I
anyone
will
would want
say
that.
this frustrated me too. Earlier, I thought, oh, before we do this podcast, I'll play a bit. But I see you were on and someone else. So I'm like, maybe I'll start a multiplayer game by myself, and if they want to join, they can. You can't do that. You can either play solo by yourself, or you can host the multiplayer version, but you have to have at least one other player with you. So my option was uh, try to have someone play with me to keep an open lobby if more friends want to come, or just play by myself in a closed lobby. And that's frustrating, I think. If it's gonna make all of the online problems happen, even when you're solo, then let your friends join. I don't feel like a minimum player cap higher than one is required to create a lobby if it's going to treat even single player mode as if it was a lobby. Because when you pause, the game still goes. There's no
No new
pause
menu.
button
Yeah,
even in single player.
there's no pause. Yeah,
Yeah.
which some
And
people
it's
were
not like
mad
Monster
about,
Hunter.
but
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah, the only reason I say Monster Hunter is you can pause if you open your menu and then go to the pause button. Um,
In
but
single
yes,
player, yes.
yeah, no, in multiplayer too. You just pause the universe. Everyone suffers. Yeah, not even in single player. It takes the Dark Souls approach, as the media loves to say. Any way to cram the word Dark Souls into another game. how do you feel about the quote unquote vampire bosses we found?
They were all
They weren't.
they weren't bosses though. They were under bosses. They're like
Yes,
they were like lieutenants or something.
exactly.
Um,
I was gonna say they weren't story bosses. They were. You had to do a mission at a safe house to unlock it, and then it was like a little environmental storytelling boss. Each one was unique to that area, except the gas station one. I didn't see any story behind that, even though we found people underneath. and and then me and Draco set the place on fire, and then everything exploded. Ugh. So, how did you feel?
um, I'm being honest. I kind of think I think they're fine for what they are. I really want to fight one of the like the vampire gods.
Yeah,
But like you got to progress in the story for that.
and that's fine. That makes sense. You know, if you're just starting out, you shouldn't be fighting vampire gods, or if you do, the story should not say you're successful. You know, you were just a little
Yeah.
wimpy dude at the moment. We got to get stronger with whatever our skills and our tree are. For the underbosses, I'll say I'm mixed. I see the potential there, but a lot of them just felt like normal vampires. In fact, one of them I killed with two pistol shots to the head. Now, granted, I was using a special pistol where you don't have to put a stake in them, but I didn't realize it was the boss until like it said mission cleared when I shot it, and I found some good loot on him. I like the idea of the unique bosses, but they need to have some kind of interesting mechanic or, something besides
I
just a
think you need
different
more
outfit.
tiers of vampires.
Yeah.
Like
So far, we found normal and little lieutenant up arrow near them.
yeah, there's other ones. There's like the glare one and the
Oh yeah, there's different types. We found the siphon, the
but it,
shroud, the
but I feel like
blood
you should
bag.
have like the firstborn or whatever, like the young, like
Yeah,
they're still
like
like
the freshly turned, the
yeah.
ancient, super powerful ones.
I think the AI could also use an upgrade on them because the thing is, if you
Yeah,
you have a safe house with a UV light, you can kind of just chill at a UV light, and they'll try and come get you, even though it'll kill them instantly.
yeah. I did that at the safe house to test it. I was like, because Dying Light's a good example where UVs also work on them, and if you lead them to a safe house with the UVs on, they actually like get near it and burn themselves and look at it, and then they step back and don't come closer. The vampires, you shoot them and they're like, I'm gonna kill that guy. And then you stand in the UV light and they come and then they're like, "Ugh," and they turn to stone and they're like, how could you do this? It's like,
How could you?
bro, there's definitely some interesting humanity to them. When you kill them like that, one of them actually said, "Oh God, what have I done?" After I turned him to stone. And I don't know if he was saying that because he's like, "What have I done? I'm dumb enough to get petrified," or if there was that bit of humanity, like, "What have I done as a vampire before, I killed him?"
Yeah,
I'm curious because it's not like zombies where you get bit and you're a zombie now. Vampires, it's like you're a vampire, but you still have agency over yourself. You're not just mindless to a degree. I think there's a vampire hive mind kind of thing going on.
maybe. There are differing types of vampires. Like depends on. It also
Yeah,
depends on what lore you're going from.
exactly.
Like,
Because, some vampires are afraid of water, but due to what happened in the beginning, I don't think these vampires are.
I honestly, I think they are, and that's why they used magic to keep the water back because
Hmm.
they can't cross running water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless
I
they're
thought it
like
was
at a
mostly to keep the people in, but you might be right. It could just be a dual purpose
it's dual
because you try to
purpose.
escape on a boat, which I appreciate that they tried to do something like that. Nothing would be worse if you could look out onto the water and think, why are we still here? The idea that they've trapped you here and you can see it when you go to any source of water and it looks like blue gelatin. It's like a wave that froze halfway. Um, I appreciate that. That's environmental storytelling. And they try to do a lot of that here. Um, and it's good in some spots and a bit more rough in others. But I appreciate what they're going for.
How could you stop me? I needed to go, man.
How did you feel about the locale?
I know why people are saying that the game feels empty
Hmm.
because they're only playing like the starter area and they're like, there's nothing here. We were downtown.
Yeah, we
It
kept
was
running into stuff there.
yeah, it's like all sorts of stuff. Like on top of buildings, you can jump from building to building, and
Yeah.
it's like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I also appreciated that there were random houses you can get into. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still a bunch of houses that just have barred up doors or windows and you can't interact. But there are some that you can just pick a lock
There's
and
some that
go in.
there's some that are blocked up that you still can get in.
Yeah. There's also
So
been some interesting lore just for like exploring houses and stuff too. You found the house with that woman on the dialysis machine
yeah,
with the vampires in there. That was interesting. I mean, depressing, but interesting.
it's a lot of interesting stuff with it. I don't think this game is dead in the water like people are acting like it is.
Yeah.
I
But
also
they
don't think
also
it's.
exactly. Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
it's never aimed to be that 10 out of 10 masterpiece game.
Well,
No games as a service game is. It knows what it is. It's supposed to make money.
I
Not
don't
to
even
sound,
think. I don't even
jaded.
think that. Well, this isn't really servicey game. Like it doesn't have a lot of
Yeah.
microtransactions and stuff. It's got like
Oh yeah,
the bite
they took that
backpack and
year to try to minimize those because I know it would have been so much worse if it was the way it is and also a microtransaction mess. Oh,
I take a lot of the issues people have with the graphics is they're not used to the way Unreal Engine lights things with
yeah.
Arcane's assets. This is the first time we've ever seen an Arcane game in Unreal, and I think that the lighting engine is what's making people be like, "This is really ugly." It's like, have you looked at Dishonored 1 and Two's character
Well, I was just gonna
models?
say, not in a mean way, because Dishonored has a very unique and cool art style,
Yeah,
but it's
and
not
I see it
pretty.
right here. Like, I'm running around like a crazy person waiting for people to
Yeah,
do
see you
stuff.
sliding around. But yeah, their characters have never been pretty. They're not ultra realistic. They have a kind of weird art
The
style to them,
angular.
and it's not a
Yeah, this
bad
guy's
thing.
face in particular. Hold on, I can
Yeah,
pause it. Let me back it up a bit. See if I can pause it. Just gonna look at him. Good look at him.
Terrence Hunt.
Gonna play that
Yeah, but
back.
that's exactly a great point. It's just it's a specific kind of art style. It'd be like complaining that the Walking Dead Telltale series is ugly. It's like, well, it's going for that weird cell shaded, gross kind of look to it.
Yeah,
It's not supposed to look like The Last of Us or Spider-Man.
yeah. That's the thing. It. There we go. Pause it here. Yeah, so I mean, like his face is like longer than a real human. He looks. He's got bags under his eyes. He's worn out. And and the thing is his features are all super exaggerated. So when people
Yeah,
like pick at the thing, this is how Arcane does their character models for the most part. I think Deathloop was a bit of a departure, but most of the enemies
yeah,
had like masks on. Even
exactly. It reminded me a little of We Happy Few with that aesthetic.
yeah, like it's going for something. I'll put the video back on. But
Yeah.
that's kind of
And
their
looking at
their
that face, the perfect example is, we're big fans of anime. Um, if you got mad at anime for the big eyes and stuff that they do, which is the style, people would say you're an idiot. I'm not trying to call people idiots, but this is Arcane style. Look at the last Dishonored game. Look at the one before that. Hell, look at Prey. It's their style.
yeah, Prey even has that. But again, there's not a lot of modeled like faces and places that are like on living people. And when you do
Yeah.
see them, they look weird. I that's why people are like this game's ugly, and I'm like, are all games ugly? Like there are issues with it that are not helping the fact. Like it doesn't have the the lighting, like some of the models look a little weird in
Yeah,
spots.
and graphically it does look similar to an Xbox One era game. Like it looks like it could have launched alongside Dishonored. Now, I'm not saying that as in the game's awful, but I will critique the bad points and highlight the good ones because I want this game to succeed and I've had fun playing it. I think if people were doing the right kind of complaints, it would carry more weight. But it seems like everyone's so happy to bash on it, they're just saying points that don't even apply. So then people like us who are trying to tell you, oh, well, it's actually this, or, but this part's good. They're like, why are you, sucking up to the company and blah, blah, blah. It's okay to have a different opinion. Like, I don't think we're all trying to say factually this game's great or terrible. I'm saying these are what they need to fix. This is how this looks. It's just, it's so divisive right now. I see people bashing everywhere online. Even in our group chat, I'm almost afraid to talk about the positives because people can't tell if we're memeing or not.
Yeah, I'm not memeing. I actually very much enjoy the game. It is very arcane, but it is very co-op
Oh yeah,
arcane.
which
It
is
is,
definitely a new experience.
yeah, and I don't think it's disingenuous to be like, I like this game. It's not bad. You can like a game that's not great, and that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people who are like, yeah, this is fun. I like this, or no, I don't
Yeah,
like this. And that's fine too. It's just not. I hate people taking the entire weight of
Metacritic.
Metacritic is a problem in itself, but the
Yeah,
entire like all the negative things about a game and be like, this is
hmm,
all it is. It's like I could poke holes in
yeah,
so many games
exactly.
because
Like,
with that kind of thing, the logic and that kind of
yeah,
thinking.
making the negatives the defining feature instead of what they've played. And there's a lot of people who haven't played this yet. And I get it. You're looking at screenshots, you're thinking this game isn't for me. But the people who could easily just play this on Game Pass at no cost, they're not willing to give it the chance because they're seeing these negative things in the media and going, this game's garbage. It's
I don't think
frustrating to
I don't
me.
think it's garbage. I've taken a lot of offense with this is the worst game that's come out this year because honestly, I've seen worse. We've looked at games that are coming out this year.
Forspoken.
I don't want to talk about
Ugh.
Forspoken. I'm going to talk about Forspoken. I'm talking about just like when we look at the releases that are coming up. There's been a bunch that I'm like, okay, what's this? And we're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that's nice. And we're trying not to be mean, but let's be real here. There are games that are never going to be game of the year. There are
Yeah.
hundreds of games that come out. To say something as bold faced as this is the worst game that's come out this year is a lie.
Especially when a lot of those people have not played the game. A lot of people saw the pre-footage, pre-day one stuff, or some of the broken AI at one
Or
point, and
the
they're like,
guys
"This
who
can,
were slow walking everywhere. Like,
yeah,
have you
oh,
seen the way we're like ripping around this map like madmen? Like,
it's insane." That's the thing that makes it so hard to trust reviews and stuff. There's definitely terrible things about this game, but there's also great things. But people are only going to focus on the
terrible,
bad, and then they try to heighten it by, being disingenuous,
terrible.
like
The
you
only
just said,
terrible
with
thing I
slow
can think
walking.
about is how the servers have been and how it's been
Oh
hard
yeah,
to
they're
get like
terrible.
stay in for a game for a while, and just that's a technical issue that can be fixed. Also, this
Oh
okay,
God, yeah.
trying
Do you know
to
how many times I've tried to get out of a
yeah,
window and I'll jump
you
and hit
watch
my
everyone
head?
trying to get in the thing. They're like you have to like long jump in. It's
Yeah, because
so
you try to crouch
annoying.
jump and you like over jump and then
Yeah,
crouch when you hit the ground.
it seems to be because if you walk up to a mountable surface, you just yeah, and the animation's broken. If you see
Your
it, like the
arms
arms
just
are like
snapped.
I don't know if it's an FOV thing because I have the FOV turned up to over
Oh, that's
100.
possible.
Oh, this is when you jumped off a cliff or
Oh no, that's where I got blown up. The reason I'm not
yeah.
with everyone is I was trying to get into a safe. I was like, oh, but there's like free tripwires. What will these do? And I thought it'll like, because they're lasers. I'm like, maybe it'll cut me. What if I do this? No, it blew up the entire room, and I didn't make it. to no one's surprise,
Yeah.
across the map, I got blown up. There was a lot of exploring that I was doing, and one of the things I can appreciate about this game, the loading times when the server was doing a bit better. Admittedly, when it was a bit janky, they were a bit slower, but the load times are pretty good.
The
We could
first
be
load was a
anywhere.
the first load was a little like coming in, but
Mhm.
otherwise, besides like a little bit of stutter here and there and some weird graphical things, you like if you look at the road and stuff's kind of like popping around. I'm using
Yeah.
DLSS on this footage. Oh, yeah, I got kicked. Yeah, that
Yep.
happened a bunch, and I think I just cut. We go to the next clip here. I don't remember where we picked this one up. Is this where the car is? No, this is okay. We're back with the house. This is the
Yeah.
house with the
This is
safe
the
in
house
it.
that, yeah, where I got blown up. And I was trying to tell everyone, I'm like, all right, guys, be careful. There's a laser up there.
I like
And I
that you
can
can.
appreciate the. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we get kind of disconnected on the hop in this one. Ugh. But I like that you can just break a window and go in places and
Yeah.
things. It's kind of cool. Like you just there are different ways
Oh,
to.
that's sorry to cut you off. That it's gone now, but that was saying what carries over in multiplayer and what doesn't. Sorry. I just wanted to bring it up because we were talking about it earlier in case anyone was curious. When you
Yeah,
bring up the friends list there, it tells you.
yeah. The the. I like that you still have that arcane. You can attack a thing from more than one side. It's just
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of time we're just like Jericho's in the front door. We're shooting everyone. That's kind of how
Oh
it went.
God.
It was
Yeah. There was a surprising amount too where it didn't just feel like, the same situation, but you can get to it in three different ways. It felt like the different ways you interacted with it would change what was happening. And I remember sometimes, one of us would be in a fight and the other one would drop down from the roof or someone would come up from the basement. Um, and there was different stuff to do. It wasn't just, you know, free tunnels that lead to the same place.
I
It was like
really
each one
wonder
was a
how
different thing.
the hardest difficulty is.
Me too, because I'm currently playing on the second hardest. I think you were too. I believe it's called
Yeah,
Midnight. I
midnight.
think the difficulties are daylight, dusk, and midnight. I'm
And then
sure the
there's
last
one
one's
of
like
the
eclipse
nightmare
or
or
something.
something or eclipse. I don't know. Yeah, but the I really wonder because if the hardest difficulty is like you're gonna get down to like 2 seconds and you have to like attack a objective like a team,
Yeah,
that could be really interesting and really engaging.
yeah.
Because
There's
the
definitely
thing
some
is,
cool team tactics here too, with the classes and everything.
that's the thing. Like there was like even just the firehouse in the beginning. There's a way in from the roof. There's the back door. There's the front door under it. You can like
Yeah, you could stealth, you could storm the gate.
yeah. Like there's not a lot of dudes inside, obviously,
Yeah,
in the thing of this, but it's interesting because you could just do whatever. And I would be very much
yeah.
interested. I think this game could benefit from like a roguelite mode.
Oh yeah. It's already got some of that with the, different loot when you do things, different enemies spawning in different areas. It
Yeah.
has a lot of that simplicity. If they made a mode that was like, if you die, you have to restart.
I think you do a mode where stuff's like covered in that red mist. And you just can't go in there and you have like a set kind of path
Hmm.
and challenges and you have to go through stuff. I think you could do the weird dimension twisting stuff that they did a little bit of, you see a bit of, but mostly in like scripted sections.
Yeah. I'd appreciate if they had a mode that was like, try to take the entire town back at once. And, random, loot, random enemies spawning, random encounters. And once you die, your character's dead. So if your group dies or your friends, you know, you have to try to take the town over again from the start. But each time, some stuff could carry over, whether it's some abilities, whether it's certain survivors in areas that, sell weapons or help hold the fort down there. It would be cool to have like a roguelike mode where the only time you win is when you don't die and you take the vampires out.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
it's like a it's more condensed, sort of like maybe couple
yeah,
hour. level or
Exactly, like a
whatever.
mini roguelike kind of thing. That just something with good replay value. Because the gunplay's decent in this. Oh, I was surprised.
The gunplay's
Not that,
good, and you have like you have buildings that are set up to attack in different ways. I honestly
yeah.
feel like with some tougher enemies and yeah, here we go. Here's the bug. With some tougher enemies and a little bit of like teamwork, you could have some real fun with that.
Yeah,
And
because there's
that's
no like cover-based system, none of that, peeking from cover. It's just
well, you can peek from
find cover.
cover, I should say, but not like in the because all your buttons you would use for like peeking around a corner or whatever are bound to abilities. So you don't have that sort of like
Yeah.
I can peek out, but you can jiggle peek like you could
Although you
in a game
could
like
do
Overwatch.
kind of like what COD does, where you hold down aiming and then you press melee and you can kind of mount onto something. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, only because it could make you more accurate at the cost of aiming, or it would let you peek around corners a little bit. But um, what I mean is, it doesn't feel like they tried to stick a system on there for the sake of sticking it on there. For the most part, I'd say, everything that's here is kind of taken care of and focused on. I didn't
It's
find too
solid.
much that felt,
I think
yeah,
a
I
lot of
didn't
like
find
the
too much that
base
felt
is
like a
solid.
checklist. Yeah,
I where this game starts to fall apart is co-op progression.
yeah,
That's an issue, and um, just the way the world kind of regenerates. The thing is, we haven't even gotten to one of the like the big bosses, which I'm kind of more interested in because we've seen like clippage from it where the world's like all twisted and shit. I'm like,
yeah,
that's the kind of mode and stuff that I want. It's like you go somewhere and like all of a sudden everything's all messed up and twisted. You're just like, what the hell am I in?
yeah, with that otherworldly feeling,
Yeah,
which Arcane is very good at doing in all of their games.
but that's the
And I
thing.
know
We
this is
we
the
have
B team.
but we have seen that exists in this game.
Yeah, it's I should bring this up because I just noticed there's also an interesting mechanic. If you look at the bottom left, there's a little like hand with an up arrow. The more you play with the same co-op teammates, the more trust you gain. And I believe that raises stats and such because it's supposed to promote something, and you get it by completing missions, surviving encounters together. Um, I appreciate a system like that that rewards playing with the same people uh, to get bonuses. It kind of promotes that friendly teamwork and gives you a reward for it instead of just everyone lone wolfing and doing their own thing.
I think I've made a snarky comment here about getting a message
Oh
about
yeah,
the
you were a
ping
big
system
fan of that.
after.
Waffle was the biggest fan of that.
Oh my god, it's honestly annoying that it eats up like a third of the screen.
Yeah, plus it's hold to get rid of, not tap. So if you're in
Yeah,
the middle of
and
combat, you have to like run away to hold it for 3 seconds.
it's on escape.
Yeah,
It's
for us
on
it's on B,
escape.
but it's still annoying.
They'd be like, oh yeah, hold select or what was the button, the menu button or the window button. I don't know what you call the buttons on
I just still
Xbox.
call it select. I think it's like the back button and start or back and pause. I don't know.
There's the hamburger
It's the
menu
window and
button,
window.
and
Yeah.
there's the with the
The
box over
picture in
box
picture
menu.
button.
Yes, that'd be like having to hold the left one. So
Yeah. Just
no,
something that's inconvenient and out of the way.
yeah. Well, escape you have to basically take your hand off the keyboard, so you can't move anymore unless you like Monster Hunter Claw the have turn your cock your hand on the on. You're just like,
Or you got the long pinky, the big pinky.
it could have just been tab.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. Is escape supposed to be your B button, like going backwards? I
I
wonder if
don't think
that's
it.
why it's hidden.
You can. That's like a hard escape out of the menu, but there's just like a button you can exit with and just click it.
Like the little X.
Yeah, I This is before we figured out
Yeah, we're all like,
about
how do we do
we didn't
this? How do
realize
we
that
interact?
the UV the portable UV gun could do it.
Yeah.
We knew that the
Well,
lamp
because
lamps
I
could do
don't
it.
think any of us had one yet.
I think there's
You
one
know, we knew
upstairs, or they
something.
give you one, but it's hard to
Hmm.
say. Upstairs, I mean
Because
above.
yeah, we knew something like that would exist, but we didn't know exactly how to interact with it yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Draco's down there like, I'm gonna touch it. It's cherry flavored, guys. Just jumps in.
Honestly, he's fun. He's fun to play with. So
Oh, absolutely.
we're only like picking fun because he sounded like the funniest shit. We had
Yeah.
lots
Oh,
of
and he
fun.
loved it too. He lived up to like being the Leroy Jenkins of the group.
Yeah, when I said it,
Very
he's like,
happy
"Oh yeah,
attitude.
oh
Yeah. Well,
yeah."
that's what was funny. He didn't even like deny it. You were like, "So I know you're the stealthy character and the sniper, but you kind of just run." And he's like, "Yep, that's my style. I run in
So,
with the shotgun while you guys are doing stuff."
that's how I roll.
Um,
It's like
yeah,
okay.
exactly. That's how I roll. Which is great, only because like it's more fun when you have different people in your group that play different ways. It's less fun if there's like four people sniping at the same time, hiding in the corner, or four guys all trying to run in. It's nice to have that bit of diversity. I know you were trying to run around healing. I was trying to be the person with the little bird scouting and pinging enemies, because it gives a little damage buff
I
to
try to be like
teammates.
mid ranged because
Yeah,
the thing is that they make you use the shotgun a lot because you need the stake. So you basically always have to have a shotgun equipped
or an
unless you
AR.
have
I
a stake
noticed assault
launcher.
rifles. Oh,
Yeah,
that's true. Snake launcher.
assault rifles have can have them too, but the sniper rifle and handguns don't.
Yeah, or the UV thing doesn't.
Yeah, but the UV thing can just turn them to stone. You can just break them.
True. That guy's just sitting on the bench, and you're like, no, it's illegal to live in this town.
That's a. He had a megaphone. I just didn't want to just cause more doofuses. I
Oh
honestly
God,
feel
look at
like you have all the pieces here for like really cool combat encounters,
yeah,
and all you need to do to get it to work is just have like more like a building like this. Even it's just like this is the objectives. We gotta get start here. We gotta get here, and there's like all the people are everywhere. I
yeah,
honestly feel like the story bit is gonna be just the start of this. Yeah, and I think I creep around here to grab the.
yeah. I remember this is almost where we figured it out, and I actually felt very guilty because there's an achievement for breaking one of those, and you turned it on, and you shot it, and then later there was another one there. I think it was after he crashed and came
It's so
back or something.
jumping through the. Yeah, there's some weird visual bugs in this game, but that's stuff that can be fixed.
He's having fun. He's so excited. Yeah, someone turned it on after. They were like, "Oh, look, you can turn this to stone." And I ran over and punched it because I didn't know what it was, and I heard it make the noise, and I got an achievement for it. And I was like, "Oops," because I remember there was one more later where you're like, "Who doesn't have the achievement?" And I freaked out and punched it because it made a noise when I turned around, and I felt so bad. I was like, "I'm not trying to steal the achievement. I'm sorry." Oh, look how
This
excited he
visual
is. He
bug
down.
is so.
I wish I saw that. I didn't even see that. Oh man, he looks so happy. Bouncing
It's like
around.
teabagging everything.
Yeah. Oh, is that why you were pinging at the time?
Yeah,
Gotcha. I'm over
it's
here
like
by this.
it's
He's just
funny.
gliding. Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
it doesn't even affect the game that much. Like, if it's just gonna be visually funny like that, I don't mind those kind of bugs.
Well, people were like not walking or something, and I wonder if that's some sort of holdover for performance.
Hmm.
I have a feeling they had a lot of trouble with these servers
Oh god, yeah.
before launch, and that's why the game doesn't have a 60 FPS mode. I
I think
think
you were the one that noticed that.
I
Yeah.
said it in the chat, and I'm like, I think they had like huge problems with the servers.
Yeah. I think you even when we were playing, you were like, "Oh, it's not the game that's like lagging and losing frames. It's the
Yeah,
server side."
yeah. There was because there were times where I'm just standing in the same spot, and all of a sudden I'd get like I'd be just looking somewhere, and then the frames would just drop hard, and I'm like, This is server side. This is not in game.
Yeah. And there were times where I'd be doing more stuff on screen and frames would kind of jump up for a sec. So, I mean, none of that made sense.
Yeah, you were that was weird. You think it'd be 30 hertz v-synced, but it's not. Because
Yeah, like
you were the
it
only one
definitely
playing on
hovered around
console.
that.
Well, Waffle was playing on console, and he was not happy with it.
That's
And I
right. Yeah,
don't.
he kept
Wait,
trying to play PC and it kept screwing him over.
yeah.
Oh, I should mention that cool shotgun you have. That was for playing on Game Pass, and it actually gives us an achievement because it's the highest rarity. So I wanted to segue into a quick discussion for the achievement heads out there. You're gonna be pissed by the game because it has 17G achievements. I personally don't care that much, but I know there's tons of people that got that OCD. If it's not divisible by 5, they're losing their minds. So, on one hand, if your achievement is broken because you already have games that did that, you could fix it with this game. On the other hand, if you're not dedicated to getting that 1000G, you might walk away with an odd number, and that might break you.
Let me see which ones
But
are
it is what it
17
is.
quick, because I'm
I got
not.
a few. Yeah, I got 13 out of 66 for 144G. Let's see. Complete your first neighborhood was one, and get your first legendary weapon.
Okay, so are there any other 17s here? Yeah, complete all main missions in
Yeah,
Redfall
all the optional
Commons.
ones too. Uh,
Contingency plan, complete all optional
yeah.
campaign missions. Only 1% of gamers
There's
have this. Yeah, it
raising
makes
people's
sense.
trust and confidence.
What's this
Apparently,
one?
maybe it's
10.
not friends, maybe it's the characters. Because there's an achievement
Monster
for
Hunters
raising
Club,
complete trust. Yeah,
Scream
each one of
Team.
the characters' trust and confidence thing is 17.
Yep.
All missions in
Blood
that
Brothers.
area. There's some 35s too, like destroying the black hole sun. Won't you come?
Bah, bah, bah.
We were making a ton of references last night
That
between the
that
memes in the game and the dialogue.
yeah, the dialogue's kind of cringe, but I didn't
Yeah,
expect
but
anything less.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that's an arcane problem. I think that's a current gen gaming media slash all media
Destroy a
problem.
nest heart without waking or killing any vampires?
I
Is
saw that. I think
17?
that either Waffle or Draco was the one saying that reminded them of the Plague Hearts from State of Decay 2. Because you were the one that said it didn't feel like you found any Far Cry elements, and one of them mentioned it felt more like State of Decay in that way, like looting each house and dealing with the hearts. I did spoil myself by accident by looking at two of the secret achievements. So just to warn you and anyone listening, don't look near the bottom. They're both 17G, which is why I assumed there wouldn't be anything spoilery. Although the story's not a huge focus, but it will tell you certain characters that may live or die. So don't peek unless you don't mind getting spoiled.
Don't you need there's 100 of those things. So yeah, I've got 154 gamer score. I don't know why you just don't have it higher than 1,000.
I know. I mean, I think they're going to at least when they start adding the characters and more content.
Yeah, there's
Although
supposed to be
some
more
games don't.
characters, so I don't know.
Yeah, some games could add thousands of hours of content and no new achievements,
What did
and then
someone say
others
about
add
missable
20
achievements? What
minutes.
was a missable achievement?
So some people said some achievements weren't unlocking for them, but you couldn't replay missions. So once you hit a certain point, and I also think there might be more to the map, and you can't go back because someone was saying they hit a checkpoint when they got to an area and they couldn't get any more optional collectibles because they missed them. So I don't know if you go to a certain place and you can't go back, or maybe we'll leave this part of Redfall. Like I'm just looking at the map, like this area, and maybe go somewhere else. I'm not sure, but I don't think that'll be a permanent problem. I've played a lot of games where they don't put a mission or a level select in, and then people complain because it admittedly is silly, so they end up patching one in. And unfortunately, I do think a lot of the things that we want are probably going to get patched in. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like more games that launch in a state like this, definitely frustrating. especially when they put, like Microsoft did this time, a $70 price tag. Very uncool. But in this case, I don't think they cut content to sell it to us later. I think they were trying to salvage something and they just didn't have time. So it's overtime going to get the stuff they wanted to do now that it's released instead of behind closed doors and promising a product that's just not ready yet.
It's weird. It's weird.
I do
My laptop.
appreciate that. Oh, sorry.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I noticed when you pick something up, it just converted to the money. There's something
Mhm.
appreciative about picking up random crap that you're only ever going to sell and not having an inventory and having to go sell it. You pick up something, it's junk, it immediately converts to the money it would be worth, or salvage, or whatever they call it. You don't have to worry about an inventory system, save for your backpack for weapons. But you can have 40 and you can salvage them to turn them into money on you. You don't have to go to a shop. So there's really never a problem. You can just stop when it's safe, take a second, destroy the crap you don't need, and you're good. I didn't find myself having to backtrack or constantly fiddle with the inventory. Most of that was
I'd
completely
only
avoidable.
would start destroying stuff as soon as I started either getting full or just needed to make space
Yeah.
for the
And
sake
then
of.
you
I
can
was just
do
like
it
come in and
too
be
when
like,
you
oh, it's a
find
bunch of
something.
whites. I don't need this. This is garbage.
Yeah. And I'd look at the levels and I'm like, oh, this is my good level 3 weapon, but I'm level 6 now. And I look at the stats, I'm like, oh, it's worse than the white of this level. That's one thing I will say that I appreciate. The tiers feel different enough that it's worth getting, newer weapons. It doesn't make you feel like you have to stick with the same stuff. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like the weapons are ever broken or out of reach. It feels like they did a decently good job of making the weapons feel like they're
Even if your
supposed to for
weapon's a
the level.
little bit on the how do we say
Like
lower
lower or
level
weaker side?
side, the
Hmm.
weaker side, you can still get like they still do decent damage. Like
Yeah.
if you land a
Yeah, it's
headshot
never
on
like
people, it's like a ton of damage. And this is the thing, if you've
yeah,
got the perks and the partners to have extra damage,
yeah.
then it's even better.
Yeah, I didn't find many bullet sponge enemies, which I'm very thankful for.
Oh
Oh,
my
you're
god,
standing
thank
right in front of a
goodness.
turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
I didn't think it
difficulty
could turn
thing
that
that I
way.
hate. Yeah, apparently the 360-degree turning. I think this is where we blow the car up after and everyone's on fire. Yep. You did something fun with the car. Didn't you go to like the rental car place and blow one up and then they all
Yeah,
started
they
exploding or
all blew
something?
up after one after another. I don't think I have footage of
Oh,
that, but
that was funny though. It
oh, yeah,
caught
you
me
were
off guard.
hacking
I was
it
like,
while it was looking at us. Yeah. See,
yeah.
that's a cool thing you can do with teamwork. It's just like Ravon's like over here, like making a scene, and the turret's like, I gotta
Oh,
shoot at him.
I love this. I was like, Draco, watch out, back up. And he just shoots it like right next to it. And of course, those batteries shoot lightning in every direction. I was
Draco's like
determined
hacking him
to,
after.
yeah, I was determined to get Woz in the chest before running away.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. You were like, can you move? And he's like, I cannot. I can die.
that was funny. Absolutely funny.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you can heal each other. You don't just have to watch someone suffer because you can't trade weapons and stuff. It's all unique to your own world, but you can heal each
Oh
other
yeah, then we got
and still
disconnected before we
interact.
could turn on the.
Oh yeah,
The
before you could actually activate the safe house.
yeah, that felt bad. It feels bad.
Was that a double-barreled flare gun you're holding?
Yes, I didn't use flare guns very much. I played with them a little bit this morning, but I kind
Hmm.
of don't like them.
I'm
But they're
mixed. They're very good for setting things on fire, like if there's gas around, and they're hilarious because you can shoot them at someone, even human enemies, and light them on fire. The problem is it's slow, and it doesn't do a lot for groups unless you're lighting something actively on fire. Um, yeah, I find myself mostly using a pistol, a shotgun, and an assault rifle, or mixing it up with the UV weapon in there or a sniper. I haven't been using that stake launcher much. It looks cool, but stakes are hard to find.
the stake launch is really good. my issue with the stake launcher is it's unwieldy. So you
Yeah, it
basically
looks
need
like it.
someone to keep someone to keep it distracted, and then you just put a stake through it. Like you can kill a
And
vampire one shot if you have enough damage with it.
yeah, and unlike the UV weapon, it works on humans too. They might not be weak to stakes, but if you launch one at 50 miles an hour through their heart, they're gonna feel it. Um, yeah, what was I gonna say about the stakes? Oh, my annoyance was, you know how on the ARs and the shotties you can have the stake equipped in. I appreciate the idea they're going for that. Oh, it's a vampire, you have to kill it with a stake. You know, bullets won't kill it. That's cool. But if I can't put it on every weapon, why is my melee a punch or an elbow? Why can't I use a stake? Like that way we'd still have the melee approach, but we wouldn't have to equip the specific type of gun. Or at least you could put, even though it wouldn't be as helpful, a bayonet on any of the weapons. It doesn't need to be a shotgun or a AR only. It's just I appreciate what they were trying to go for with the uniqueness, but it requires you to use certain types of weapons. And
Yeah, I know people were complaining about the melee animation and stuff, and it's
I don't
weird. There's
mind
no
the
like
animation as
knife.
much. Yeah,
Most because
I
there's
don't
no
mind it as
knife. It's
much.
like the
It was the
stealth kill. You just punch people and they
yeah.
die. You're just like,
Well,
right?
that's the thing I am frustrated with. There is no stealth attack. If I sneak up behind someone, because my guy can cloak, um, I have no advantage to being in front of them, behind them, seen or unseen. I can only elbow them for weak damage, or I can shoot them up close. Like with a shotgun, that's fine. But if I'm 3 inches from his face with a AR or 10 feet away, it doesn't matter. So there's no benefit to kind of trying to use stealth kills that way. Um, because I remember we snuck up behind a vampire, like all three of us, or maybe four, maybe Waffles there too. And we were like, why can't I do anything? And then one of us hit him, and he turned around, and we had to fight it. There was like no advantage for the stealth part. Ooh. I like that you're just kind of surveying everything that's
Well, I
going
was
on. You're
trying.
like, oh man,
They had that weird like aura on them.
yeah.
Wow, that was a. I didn't realize how broken that animation was there.
What?
Did
The reload?
you see it? The
Ooh,
clip was like not in the hand.
yeah, it's like through
I
your
think that's
hand.
yeah. There you go. Yep, did it again.
Oh,
Weird.
I did not have one of those with the reload. Wonder where everyone else is,
You were
including
in the
me.
left there. I was like trying to head back, and then I saw all these guys, and I'm like, oh well, I better. I just don't want to get shot at while I went around the corner. You
Yeah.
know, like go head your way, and then get shot at by a bunch of dudes, and then start chasing me.
Plus, when you have a good sight on them like that, like, why waste it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're sleeping in the rock.
Rock sleep.
Sleepy rock. I know a better rock they could sleep in. It's got an inside and everything. It'll keep you warm in the summer. I mean, the winter. God, I said summer because I was just looking at something else. My brain. Very broken.
Very bro. Much bro.
Much brain. Such broken.
Yeah, else to say about Redfall besides like we haven't seen everything yet. I still think it's got
Oh,
its
God, no.
merits.
Yeah, there's
I
definitely some stuff to enjoy.
yeah, I think you'll still have fun with it. It's definitely a grab your mates and play kind of game.
Definitely.
And if you're
I
trying
mean,
to
however
achievement
much.
hunt with your mates, grab some
Yeah.
achievement hunter bros and I'll pick a character that they don't have to
Yeah.
do.
Try to diversify it up. Don't have four Jacobs like we almost did.
I wasn't gonna play Jacob, but whoever was gonna want to play him because he's an edge lord.
Ironically, I only wanted to play him because he had the ghost sniper thing and
Spook
the
sniper.
bird that could detect enemies. I was like, cool, he can scout for me, and I'll pick people off of a sniper. That's totally a playstyle I love. And then I didn't use a sniper for a while, and you don't get his ult until like level 5 or 6. So I didn't have that. And the bird, I was so mixed on the bird at first. It seemed like when I held him, it would detect stuff near me. But then when I threw him, it wasn't doing anything. But now I'm using it today, and it's doing a bit more. And I got an upgrade where I can throw him at people and it hurts them. So he's a little more effective today. The cloak turned out to be pretty great
Yeah,
because
I'm
they,
thinking
they
there
don't
was
even
some
attempt to
weird
find you.
server bugs and their server side
Yeah.
stuff isn't fixed. I know people were complaining about this. I don't know if you can see it that well on the footage, but the way the floor in that, like the boards and stuff, all have this like weird black outline and it's broken.
Yeah.
There's no anti-aliasing setting, so you can't adjust it. You're beholden to if you want anti-aliasing, you have to use DLAA.
Yeah, there's
But
definitely some accessibility and graphical things that they could definitely update. The sensitivity was a silly one too. There's no aim down sight sensitivity. There's no horizontal and vertical. It's just one setting.
that's weird. You'd think that Unreal would have some of that stuff built in. If they didn't have to
Yeah,
build it
and this isn't
themselves.
Unreal 5 either, we should mention. We
Yeah, it's
said
Unreal
Unreal, it's
4.
actually Unreal 4,
Yeah,
which,
so there's no
is
nanite.
kind of a big difference.
The same with Jedi Survivor, which came out this week, and is also okay. I think that transitions into what I want to
Yeah, I was
talk
gonna say
about.
that's a good segue.
So my problem is that Jedi Survivor's like perfect game, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and I get it. Like
It's a great franchise. It's a sequel to a great game. It
yeah,
it was gonna get the numbers.
it was gonna get good numbers regardless. Redfall, well, I don't think it's as pristine gameplay wise
Hmm.
as Jedi Survivor, and it's also not fair to compare since one is single player and one is definitely meant to be a co-op game. This is definitely meant to
Yeah,
be a co-op game. If you're playing it by yourself, you're not gonna be able to get the thousand. So
it's also not gonna be as fun. Not that you can't have fun, but it's definitely designed to play with friends.
yeah. So,
That's where it shines.
but Jedi Survivor has terrible PC port. This is
Totally
the
awful.
PC port here. I didn't even get the usual Unreal 4 shader compilation stutter that people usually complain about. It doesn't happen in this game. So it's like it did it at some point. Down because the car exploded. It didn't happen at this point. I don't know if Jedi Survivor does on PC. I'm not gonna drop that kind of money
Yeah.
to confirm or deny that. But
It's also not just PC though. I've been hearing a lot of problems on console, which is weird too.
yeah,
Um, but
it's
PC's
not
got a
super
crazy
performant.
amount. Yeah,
It it doesn't even hit anywhere near 60 in the 60 FPS mode. The 30 FPS mode's
yeah.
also a mess.
That's the thing we were joking about. They're like, man, this performance mode is actually just a lower quality mode. There's no enhancements to anything like FPS, but it does lower the quality. uh,
Yeah. Well, it gets these like 40 FPS or something, closer to 50, but it never holds 60. And it's like, look, guys, I understand we have more powerful hardware now, and it
yeah,
seems like, we can just be lazier with our PS4 style games. Can we not? Can we not? Can you
yeah.
just like actually spend the
There's
time and
so
be.
many games that have been doing that, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That I assume people are going to think is Redfall, where they kind of shit out a poorly optimized version, and just don't focus on how it'll be at release and think, ah, we can patch it later. I mean, look at The Last of Us. That released on
PC?
PC way after the PS4, the PS3, and the PS5 versions, and it was still awful. I mean, I get there was a bug with something and you had to download like 6 hours of shaders, but there were tons of other problems with it. And it's mind-boggling to me that not only is it, a late port of a game, it was ported by a first-party studio. Like it wasn't just handled off to random people. This was
Yeah.
Sony's in-house, people working on it. And I'm not saying this to rag on Sony. I'm saying in general, I feel like companies don't care as much about the optimization of ports. Forspoken was like that too. Did you see the specs on that thing? What it
Yeah,
was
it's
requiring on
massive.
PC? It feels like
You
uh
could ask what's his doodle? He played it on the Windows Store too. Because
who?
he wanted Xbox achievement. He's not in the chat. He comes up a lot of time. He's like Spartan. He commented on
Oh,
something earlier.
I think I know who you're
Mm,
talking about. But yeah,
uh,
one of the things I was gonna say was it feels like games are getting bigger in size, but they're not adding more stuff. Like the textures are just larger. Graphically, It's not super different. Amount of content, it's really not different. But the file sizes are fucking huge. It feels like they're not compressing anything and they're not releasing it in an optimized state lately. It's just kind of a rough state of affairs. And I don't know what the cause is. It's almost like because Cyberpunk became good again at one point, people were like, oh, we can just release a game that's awful and broken and people will still buy it. And gamers are so stupid. Yes, us, the gamers, because they will buy it. The masses don't care. It's so infuriating.
To be
Pokemon. Oh, go on.
fair, I know that Resident Evil 4 launched with like some things. It was playable start to finish from the day
Oh,
one,
God, yeah.
and you could.
Capcom's usually good about that.
And the thing is, yeah, there was the latest patch helped alleviate some of the weird graphical texture pop in. It doesn't fix it completely. There's some areas where it's still really bad,
Yeah,
but
especially caves with water reflections.
uh-huh, with water on the walls, yeah, that's the worst. Alpha Dog Summer. But it kind of boils down to either these teams aren't getting the time they need to polish, or they don't have the know-how to optimize these
Yeah,
things correctly.
and both of them are equally important. You
Yeah.
got to work on both of them. Midnight Suns is a good example where it came out, it was very buggy at first, but then it was doing great. But there's still a bunch of bugs. I didn't even realize until someone in the chat brought it up last night. There are achievements on not just Xbox, but trophies and Steam achievements that still are not possible to get because they just don't unlock. People have been playing the game over continuously. They've restarted on new DLC. It's something about New Game Plus, and the devs basically said, we kind of fixed it. You just have to restart your game and do it again on an entirely new playthrough. And then some people did that, and it still didn't work. So there's just a lot of problems in the gaming industry that feel like it's getting sidelined for other, fixes and content, but
Yeah, we keep getting these people
they're
talking about
affecting
like
everything.
pro consoles. Outside of a new Switch, I think new Switch is definitely on the horizon. It's definitely coming, people.
Yeah, and it's definitely justified. It's not just
That's
like
justified.
like I would not say a PS5 Pro or a Series XX or whatever they're gonna call it. Those are not
Y,
justified.
Series
We've not
Y,
even
or
tapped
Series
into
Z.
the yeah, exactly. We've not tapped into these systems at all yet. We're still making, not in a rude way, but last gen games. We're trying to keep people in the loop for the most part. Although I think was it Xbox or PlayStation that said the last game that they released was their last cross play game?
Well,
I
this
forget which
one
it was.
isn't like Redfall isn't cross gen, but I don't think there's any first party Xbox games coming down the pipe that are
Hmm.
going to be on Xbox One anymore.
That might have
I
been
I think third
Microsoft that said
parties
it then.
definitely have the choice still to release games that are supportive of it. And
Yeah, for now.
honestly, it there's no reason to not let them do it for another 10 years even. If they want to
Exactly.
do it that way. Because the thing is, there's actually advantages to running it as an 8th gen game on 9th gen consoles.
Yeah.
As things
Well,
like
that's actually the thing that's super important. Have you ever played a game in the past, like on a computer, and you're like, wow, why does this run at 4,000 frames? Because the hardware got a lot better and it was optimized to work with shitty hardware.
yeah.
Instead of trying to push the envelope on every game and then when we finally get it right, move to new hardware, let's just keep making games that are lower specs than required that it'll pump out and push and make look great. I don't
I
understand the
think
idea of
I
like,
think
we
it's
finally
totally
got
okay
it.
to have modes in games like Monster Hunter Rise actually has a pretty great menu on console where it lets you adjust a
Yeah,
decent amount of things. It's like you can do all these things. It's like and people use it for console war shit, but it's
of
nice to
course.
have the agency of like a PC port on console. So
Absolutely.
when a new generation comes, you can try turning on those sliders. It's like, oh, now you can play it at like 5K or whatever it was. I think it was 4.5K or something. Weird.
Yeah, it was something weird like that,
Yeah.
which is already
And
weird because that's not how resolution works.
well, it is how it works. It's just that's not how panels display it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, like when you hear 4K, that's
Well,
not
that's where you
exactly
got
what
the
you
alpha.
mean.
That's where you got the dog outfit from.
Oh,
It was that Gravelog.
I didn't even realize.
It's just said it on the screen. That's why I noticed. I didn't
Yeah,
really
was
pay
that the one in
attention.
the attic?
Yeah, and the Naughty Cottage.
Yeah, yeah. This is right before Waffle had left when we beat the main mission. I was like, guys, come back. And he's like, we already got that. And you're like, yeah, wait. And we both jumped into the attic and found it.
Yeah.
I like secrets like that where it's technically in the open, but it's there for people to find. It's
And
not
I get
super obvious,
kicked.
but it's not super hidden.
But I think going forward, you should have these games have, like, I know it's fixed hardware now, but knowing that there's going to be more powerful hardware later, you should just have weird options like uncapped performance, uncapped um uh quality modes, or like
Yeah,
just a setting that's like VSync on raw, even it's like 30 FPS, 60 FPS cap. I'm okay with having the consumer have that option. My issue is that a lot of these games have two settings and neither of them hit the performance targets, and they're relying too
exactly.
heavy on people having good displays to make up the difference. And while, yeah, I've got a VR TV and other people do too, that doesn't mean that should be the standard. You should be able to at least get a decent level of fidelity and a decent amount of performance. I think I have one more Redfall video. Nope, no more Redfall.
So many tweets have been deleted recently. And I'm saying that because I'm
Yeah.
scrolling for a chat and, people are like, guys, look at this, or I can't believe someone said this. And there's nothing there. And this is like from an hour ago, so it's not like, oh, you missed it. It's a few days. There's been so much chaos lately and so much, not just console wars, but the arguing with it. It seems silly. I feel like, even last night in the group chat, when people were like, "Oh man, it's not looking good. I shouldn't play this." Me and you were like, "Fuck it, let's try it," and we had fun. In some parts we had to make our own fun, but we tried a game that was no cost to us, and we had a good time. But then we came back to the chat, and I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just sad to see all the doom and gloom and all the disappointment. I feel like obviously Xbox has lost a lot of momentum because there's been a lot of sad, unfortunate things that
Momentum?
happened.
I don't think they've lost momentum. I think what they've lost is they've had a really poor COVID hit them hard, and the release
Oh
cadence
God,
has
yeah.
been completely messed up because of it, and it
What I
hasn't
mean by
recovered
momentum is
yet.
just this year, because we hit hi-fi and everyone's like, yeah, and then it hasn't been much since then.
Well, we
I'm
got
hoping for some good stuff in June.
the thing is we've got 4 first party games this year on Xbox.
Are you counting
Hi-Fi,
Ghostwire?
yeah, Hi-Fi, Ghostwire,
Okay.
uh, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. That's 4, and we're still getting a new Forza, Starfield.
Starfield at some point.
It's coming, and
Oh, I don't mean like that. I just mean we don't have a
unnamed
release
other
date.
project that's
Yeah,
supposed to be
and
coming
plus,
this year.
there's the Tokyo Game Show. There's the mini thing that Xbox is doing. There's the E3 equivalent. There's a lot of good stuff coming. I get people's doom and gloom a bit with the ABK stuff going on. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. It's just it's a depressing thing in general, the way it's been dragging on for a year. So I can totally get why people are frustrated there. But not focusing on the new stuff, we're getting skipped on stuff constantly. Like I'm sad about Battle Network. I'm sad about all the Final Fantasies, the Silent Hills, the, the Parasite Eve, all that. I'm not saying we shouldn't focus on these good first party games. I'm just saying it can be a bit of a downer when the first party is hit or miss like this, but also we're missing all the third parties. I wish we had at least one or
Hmm.
the other.
I think
And don't get me
I
wrong,
think
I'm having fun.
you do have a point there. It's like there are good games to play, and that's the thing. There are a lot of people who are like, I'm not getting games I want to play, and the thing
Yeah,
is, that's fair. That is 100% fair, and I want that to change.
totally
But
agree.
I don't want to act like if I if I complain enough about Phil Spencer that we're gonna get all the games. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think he's doing a terrible job. I think it's a difficult time still. Their development got messed up.
Yep.
And what are
And
you
I was
going to
the
do
first to
about it?
say it last night. Everyone was arguing and saying they should have delayed or canceled Redfall, and I was like, we knew they were making this before they got acquired. So Microsoft had free decisions, and all of
They
them were
hadn't
bad.
announced it yet, but we knew that they were working on something.
Yeah, they either
Games as a servicey.
yeah, exactly. Uh, and we knew it was the B level studio, not like Arcane's, A team.
I don't think
But
Arcane Austin is the B team per se, but this does feel like it was made by not the A team at Arcane Austin.
yeah, um, but they had free options. They were given this game's of a service game. They already had, Halo in the pipeline as games as a service. They wanted to focus on something single player and less online. They had three choices. A, they could cancel this game because it just wasn't fun, they said at first. They needed to rebuild things, they needed to change it, they needed to sink a lot more money and time into it. So they could have either A, canceled the bad game in order to save money and also because it was bad, but then you have fans who will do the exact same thing as Scalebound, which, Phil Spencer went on record saying the concept was cool, but it just wasn't fun. I couldn't justify putting more time and money into it. So, it's probably a similar situation where he played it. He's like, no one's going to want to play this. And he canceled it, and people got mad at him, even though it was the right thing, because they're fantasizing about the game it could have been, which is kind of what we're doing with Redfall, where we're like, it's not bad, but I wish they did this, or what if they did this? And hopefully they do, but that's not where the game is right now, so it would be really unfair to judge it as if it was this peak game. So, that's option A. They cancel it, they still get yelled at for that. Option B, they release it as that was with the games as a service stuff. They take a hit there and everyone complains. Or option C, they delay it for a year that they did. They try to fix things. They put a lot more time and money into it. They heavily advertise it near the end. And they hope to God that people enjoy it. And unfortunately, they didn't get to finish all the things. So even though option C had the best potential for a working game, there was still the chance it wouldn't work. And I think we're in the middle where it did work, but it wasn't at the awesome game point. But all three of those choices were very risky, and Microsoft was going to get in trouble with someone no matter what. And it
You
sucks
can't
that
please
that's the position
you
they were
can't
in.
please everyone, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what it always comes down to is regardless of what you do, who you back, what games you put on your service, someone's going to be like, well, this game's not for me, I'm not happy. Like, yeah, I get it. There's games
Oh,
that
I'd
go on
love
Game
if
Pass,
people just said it wasn't for me, but there's so many people bashing it as if it's not for me
but
as a
that's
fact
more
and not an opinion.
fun for them.
Yeah, well, exactly. You got to run with anything that'll put down these people. People are like, it's their first Xbox exclusive and it's garbage. Xbox ruined the company. It's like they picked them up halfway through the game's development.
Yeah.
They didn't
So
have
that's the
time to
thing.
change it if they wanted.
That's the thing though about Redfall is it was obviously made about the same time as 70, like they probably were thinking about it when 76 was coming out.
Yes, and you can see
And
elements of that heavily in this.
honestly, I think it's a better Fallout 76. It's got
Yeah,
that more
although,
fun, like just play with your friends because the map isn't huge and overbearing. And
yeah,
yeah, there's no base
it
building mechanics, but I kind of like it better without base building mechanics.
God, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you said, those can be cool, but it's the same with crafting. While it can be cool, not every game needs to have a crafting thing. It's
Yeah,
okay to not put it in.
yeah,
But like you were saying with Fallout 76, that game got a lot better as time went on. Same with Sea of Thieves. One of the things Microsoft has done successfully is create a game with a long-lasting end game that can
long
keep
tail,
going.
long tails. Yeah,
Exactly.
they have a lot of games on their service that are well not new, have long tails.
And I
Like
think they need to work on the entrance they make. Because if they have the long tails, like you're saying, that's perfect. But we need them to also be slightly better at release.
yep,
Because a
I
lot of
think that's
people,
fair.
unfortunately, don't know that these games get better. They hear it's bad, they don't go back and play it, and then they hear a big announcement 5 years later that the game's hit 8 million players or something, or it's got more content than ever, and then they try it. But that's a lot of time going by with less people that know about how cool the
Hmm.
game is.
But that's the kind of the beauty of the Game Pass
Yeah,
mentality, right? Like, um, we're like, oh yeah, whatever. It's so weird. Like, we're gonna do this. This is like games as a service or whatever. Okay, but I feel like you're right that we need the service games to hit better. Like Sea of Thieves, when it launched, the PC version was god awful. I remember people
Yeah,
complaining about it. Now, I was never really that interested in Sea of Thieves. I still am not. I know.
it's similar to Redfall with me. I
I
love the
think Waffle
concept
likes
and it's
it.
got some cool stuff. Yeah, I'd love to play with friends, but there's certain things I wish they'd change. Like I wish you didn't have PvP all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love doing the PvE with someone, and then I'll get raided and murdered by some asshole, and I'm like, well, there's 3 hours of work gone.
Hey, try to be nice, and some guys like on your ship, like stealing your
Yeah,
shit, and you're just like,
exactly.
"What is this?"
You're like playing the little instruments and drinking. You're like, friend, and he's just like raiding your stuff, and someone snipes you from a mile away, and you're like, oh, not friend.
Yeah, I was playing a bit with my girlfriend at one point, and we're just like, "Yep, yep." We were having like a pretty good time, and then this boarding party just comes and shoots the face, and I'm like, "Great,
Yeah. Nothing
that's
kills the
great."
fun momentum of pirating and looting treasure and solving the little puzzles and riddles than some asshole taking your hard work, sinking you, and leaving you behind, and you spawn on a random island across the map, and you're like, oh. It's good with friends, though. If you can get four, usually the raiding parties don't have quite as many people. You can kind of scare them off with your numbers. And if you
Yeah,
manage to find another group of people who aren't assholes, you unite with them, and then you have tons of people in your little army. Those are when it's really fun. Everything gets a little better with an army of pirates.
that's the thing. I don't have anything against Sea of Thieves as itself, but
Hmm.
oh, I just it's not the game for me because they've decided that they
Yeah.
want to have just be PvP all the time, which is so weird for Rare, I think,
Yeah.
because Rare makes a lot of PvE games, and yeah, they made PvP games before, games with PvP modes, but it's never
Yeah, but
like
it's never like the
the
focus.
yeah, like it gets like pirates, we got to be pirates, and it's like, can we not have like Honor Amongst Thieves or something? Like, give it Honor Amongst Thieves
Yeah.
mode, or at least have some mode that they get some sort of retribution for.
Yeah. Or like it rewards you for being a good Samaritan. Because that way, if you don't want to just do the punishing someone for being bad, reward people for being good, and suddenly a lot of people are going to start doing good things because it pays better.
Well, that was the joke
Something like
about.
that.
See, that's the funny thing about Fallout 76
Hmm.
is when it launched, then no NPCs, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, but no one's playing the game like we wanted them to. Well, it's Fallout. No one's gonna be
Exactly.
PvP. Like, there's gonna be some guys that are gonna be raiders, but for the most part, you're taking this group of people that play a game where you're basically the hero of the wasteland. And that's the way most
Yeah.
people play it. Like, I'm sure there's people who play it asshole mode, whatever, but most people are gonna play
I
it
always
like,
feel guilty if I do that stuff. Like I save scum after doing something mean because I feel bad. I'm like, no, I'll be good now.
yeah. And we're going to things like, oh no, we gotta do stuff. I don't get it. I just don't.
Yeah, assuming the way your player will play, besides like the meta in a PvP game, you can't account for that. You have to assume someone's gonna do what you don't expect in every shape and form. Someone's gonna break the game this way. Someone's gonna do the right thing. Someone's gonna do the wrong thing. Players are insane. There's a huge spectrum. So to build a game and say, as long as our players do this, they'll be fine, you're setting yourself up for failure. They're going to crash and burn. You're gonna have people doing all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff.
And that's why I think Redfall is kind of as entertaining as it is, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's not trying to be PvP, thank goodness. Though I think you could do a PvP mode and it could be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think that's off
that
the
would be
table for
interesting
stuff
too.
you could
If
do.
you did like Left 4 Dead, where it's like the versus half of them are zombies, half not. It'd be
Half
cool if like
vampires,
there was a
half.
like you could turn people to make them on your side, like an infected mode. Start with one vampire and see if for a few day and night cycles you could turn people to your team and either finish off the humans or everyone becomes a vampire. That'd actually be really cool if you did something where it was like during the day, everyone's, acting normal, and then during the night, the vampire can turn one person or kill them, and you have to try to determine who's the
Oh, so
vampire and,
I
you know, like a
like
Town of
a
Salem kind of thing.
Among Us mode, as people would
Almost, yeah,
say.
like Amogus. But
Among
instead of
Us.
killing people, you turn them to your side. So now you've got more vampires at night to do stuff, and you can vote to kill people who are seeming suspicious. And of course, like anything, if you burn someone and kill them and
Yeah,
they're
I think
innocent,
actually I think that'd
no
be
one gets
really
mercy.
good. That would be a pretty cool mode.
Yeah,
It
because you could
doesn't
do all
kind of
sorts of stuff with this
it
town.
doesn't sort of fit with the core gameplay aesthetic, but I think is like a fun sort of different like
Oh
we're
yeah,
just gonna
not
make
like
a
a main
different
mode.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like this is a fun just multiplayer whatever mode. Maybe just have it be a couple days long, like in game. Let's make it a
yeah,
couple
just
days.
yeah, like a week long or something if you
But you
wanted
could
to
also
do it.
have like a straight up just PvP grudge match kind of
Oh
thing where
yeah,
you could summon
they
like
need to do like
mobs.
what Minecraft Legends is doing. You know how it's got that like created thing, like the community can submit levels and stuff? More games need to do stuff like that. Mario Maker's a perfect example. It started as you can make levels and share them, and it evolved to people making the most unique and crazy stuff that the sequel had to add a bunch of features so people could do it without jankily trying to break the game to do it. And now you have game modes and types in that thing.
Yeah,
Halo is
people
another
make their
great example.
yeah, Forge is actually
Yeah,
fantastic. I've played a
it's
few of the Forge
huge.
modes and few I don't like all of them. Like it's kind of
Oh, of
interesting, you know.
course.
But there's some I played one
And there's classics.
Escalation,
Do
I
you
think
remember
it was
like
called.
yeah,
Like you every time you get kills, your weapon loadout changes, which
yeah, it was
sucks
like
for
gun
me because
game,
I'm
but
like, yeah, it's gun game, but it's Halo.
yeah,
It does kind of suck for me because I'm not great with all the Halo weapons. Like they've got shock
yeah.
rifles and hydras at one point, and I'm like, oh no, I'm
But on the
sorry,
bright
team.
side, it enforces you to try these new weapons. But on the other hand, if you're bad, you're like, well, this is unfortunate. um, what was I gonna say? There's also those classic modes that resonate with people, like the Fat Kid and the Ice Cream Lane one, the Jenga Tower one. You don't even have to have played with people to just mention that game type or mode, like the Trash Man one. And people are like, I remember that. I played
People
that with
need to
friends.
remember that Dota was a custom mode in Warcraft 3. Like one of
Yeah,
the most popular game modes that exists today, and one of the most popular games in League of Legends that exists, is entirely based off of a custom mode from Warcraft 3.
yeah, and that's how it starts.
Yep. And that's what I mean. It's like
Something
you
like
need
that.
to and that's why I think games like Roblox are really popular, even though I kind of
100%, yeah.
despise Roblox for their scummy business practices. I don't hate the
Yeah, they got some
concept.
fucked up stuff.
I want people to know that I don't hate the concept of Roblox. I just hate
It's
the
just
scummy
racist to
business
the Roblox people. The weird
the scummy
Lego
business
head boys.
practices.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that happens especially in games targeted to kids. Same with Fortnite, all that. They try to do all sorts of weird stuff that either takes credit or agency away from the kid playing or targets the parent's wallet. And it's frustrating that
Yeah, it's like you can
I
sell
get
your games
why.
on Roblox, and I'm like, that's great, but
Exactly. And it's like, but we own them, and we don't tell you that part until you totally, sign this contract. Now your cool idea is our cool idea. It's like Russia. Look at this idea I had. Ah, our idea.
yeah, it's come on. I'm getting annoyed now. Watch this footage. I'm trying to get in this fucking door. But
Oh, I was wondering. I was like, mine paused. I love that game, by the way.
oh, Total Dice is sick. It's fantastic, and I
It's
really hope.
Castlevania, but you play as Dio. You stop time and throw knives at people. Except Dio is cuter than usual.
She's always got those powers in Toho.
Oh yeah, I just
The
mean,
maid, love her.
unfortunately, not a lot of people might know what Toho is, or the fact that it's a game and not just cute characters. It's a shmup, but people
Usually
unfortunately
shmups.
all know Dio. Oh, that's true. There's the tons of side games and fighting games too.
Well, the thing is that Toho is kind of like this weird entity where they just made this. It kind of has actually fits perfectly in with this discussion about
Yeah.
fan-made modes, because a lot of these games are doujinshi games. These are fan-made games.
Hmm.
So this is this is a play doujin game. So
And it just shows,
it's a fan-made
you
game.
don't have to be the big fancy AAA dev to have cool ideas that people want,
Oh man, this
especially
game is
with.
slick. It's almost
Oh
like
God, yeah.
Wonder Duelit and Wonder Labyrinth isn't on Game Pass anymore, is it? Their other game?
I
Because that one's
don't
also
think
sick. It's
so.
not quite as I don't like it as much as Toho Luna Nights. Like I think Toho Luna Nights has this sick aesthetic.
Oh yeah, the art
Like
style is fantastic.
this gives me like old Shinobi vibes, like Genesis
Yeah.
Shinobi vibes, and that's why I'm like this is my game. I
I
remember
also
like
love like even the what's it called when you almost hit an enemy but don't, begins with an S. I feel
oh
like
the Grays.
the grays. That's what it was. Mechanics like that. Even though it's not like a crazy 3D, whoa animation, you still have that awesome feeling when you just barely skirt by something and get the
Oh man.
juice for your abilities. You're like, oh, that sweet slide, or oh, I just barely dodged that bullet. And some of the bosses become shmups again, basically.
Yeah,
Bullet hells.
it is flat out a shmup mechanic that just
Yeah,
got put in it to kind of nod to the
homage a bit. Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, I've seen a lot of games do that lately, where like, the Gungeon games are a good example. They, I mean, I think one of them plays like a shmup, but one of them's a roguelike, and there's a new one coming out that's
Not much.
completely different too.
Not much,
Um,
Draco. We were talking about you earlier,
my man,
and
oh
how you
yeah,
were Leroy
you're
Jenkins in our,
famous.
in our rap. Oh,
It was
yeah.
in good love and fun though. We would never mock the
We don't
homie.
slander the Draco.
Yeah,
In this
exactly.
house, we don't slander the Draco.
Uh, this is a fun boss fight too. The little rainbow balls.
uh, all the boss fights in this game are sick.
Yeah,
Toho
and
is
there's so many cool mechanics in general. Like you freeze time like that, you can jump on bullets, jump around, you can throw your knives differently. Even the slow down time and not completely stop is useful
yeah. I don't
in
use
more
snail
ways than just
that much
dodging.
in this clip, but it is definitely one of the more useful abilities.
I'll admit, I just played around in the water for a bit, pausing time when I'd make a little wave in a funny angle, like, and just testing what I could jump on and walk through. It was
Yeah, he
just a
did his
really
rant.
cool mechanic. So, like, I did rant about Duncan's. I actually made a tweet about it. It's like 95% a joke, but of course, there's the 5% of me that's like, man, they said they're from Mass, but I haven't seen any, like, jokey references. Like, it doesn't feel like it's Massachusetts. There's got to be something like the overly enthusiastic hockey or baseball fan, the uh, the guy that's obsessed with the football team, Patriots or Dunkin' Donuts. I'm trying to think of things that wouldn't be crazy brands to get a tiny reference, just so
I
you
don't
know.
see why Duncan's would be that hard to get.
Yeah, I mean it's free publicity. It's not like, you know, the donuts are being slandered. You say it takes place in Massachusetts, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's Dunkin's." That makes sense.
I
And it
mean,
ends
how
there.
many games have you played and Japanese like a Japanese game or watched Japanese anime? And
Oh
Pocari
God,
Sweat
yeah.
is just right there. Like
My
Pocari
favorite is
Sweat is knows what's up.
they also make the jokes where it's like,
Substitute.
oh, the McDolans and stuff, and it's like everyone knows what this is. It's okay. Like you can make these cheeky little things. They're not gonna sue you, and they have no grounds to, especially over something silly like this, and it's free publicity. Like
Yep.
I'm not saying just put things in and oh, it's a Walmart, and you don't give them any pay or tell
Oh,
them.
you mean like have
But
the wall market?
yeah,
Which I think was just a translation thing. I don't know if that was actually what it was called in Japanese. I've never actually gone into that.
oh, that's interesting. My favorite was Malmart, and it's the exact same, but instead of a W, it's just an M, so it's MAL Mart.
I mean, it works.
Yeah, and it sounds so similar. Walmart and Malmart. You say it
Walmart.
quick enough, and I'm not going to know the difference.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
playing. The hell was that game? Homefront. Yeah, Homefront.
uh,
Where like North
Was
Korea,
that?
South Korea unite and take over the
Yeah.
world or something.
That was a funny plot in general because the Koreas agreeing on anything, insanity. This is
That
definitely a
was
work of fiction.
it was a pretty dope game to be honest. But
Yeah.
especially
Yeah, that's what it was.
no, the
Revolution.
original Homefront,
Oh,
not the second one. Because I remember I bought it. So back in the day on Steam, if you like
back in my
pre-ordered
day.
it, it was
Hmm.
actually the same price as buying like Metro, I want to say, and I was gonna buy Metro
Oh,
anyway. So it's like, might as well just get the free game.
Metro was great.
Yeah, so it's like buy Homefront, get Metro, the first Metro, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm game,
exactly.
like, and then I played it when it came out later, and I was like, yeah, Metro is love, Metro is life, yeah.
It is. It's so my
My
knee
knee
cracked
crack
here.
hearing this.
God, I relate to
Oh,
that in a painful way. I'm not even 30 yet. I just turned 29 a month ago now. God, I'm getting old.
it's fast. Travels too fast.
We should find a way to make it not fast. Slow that shit down.
Uh, yeah,
32 weeks. Oh.
I know you want to know, Shishu? I'm over 30 and I'm still like a reasonable weight. Just gotta like cut down on the sugar as much as possible. I know it can be hard, like honestly, but like that's my big tip. Cut down on the sugar.
I'm gonna reach for the birthday cake.
I mean,
I
just
love
don't
that
eat
milk,
it all
man.
the time.
Don't eat birthday cake all the time or sugar?
Yeah, don't cook all it. Cook cake. Don't eat cake all the time. It's like biggest life hack. My one friend's
How
like
did I lose weight?
super.
I stopped being a fat
Oh,
ass
we
with
all
just a
yeah.
simple trick.
Jocko's like 29. So much
Oh,
older than
that's
you
funny.
guys.
So he's 29 in October. I was 29 in April. Uh, Juju's about to be 30. Everyone's just chilling around the same age and depressed about it.
I got a few years on you guys. It's okay.
Meanwhile, you're like, I'm dying. I'm 34.
I'm older than that. But thank
How
you.
old? If you don't mind me asking, I don't mean to pry.
I believe I stopped counting after 21. I
That's fair.
legitimately did.
There's no reason to at that
I
point.
think I'm
You
like
don't unlock any rewards.
I think it's 37. 37? I can do the math quick.
That's not too bad. I mean, obviously, any year older is less fun than the last.
Just double
But
checking
luckily,
because I
still in your fair. You're like, no, it turns out I'm 48. I'm bad at counting.
I'm turning
You
38
think
this
it'll
year.
take
Yeah.
a decade? Oh, dude, I'll be playing games in a nursing home in 4 years when my hip gives out at 32.
Man, give me robot arms. I don't care. I'll just be the
Your
gaming equivalent of Adam Smasher. You
wait,
think
your
you can
hips
play
break
video
and you
games?
wanted robot arms?
Just be completely robotic and just be like,
Dude, I'll be playing games as a brain in a jar.
yeah, I know, right? I don't even care. You go play video
Ugh.
games? I'll play video games.
I'll play like the youngsters and they're just completely normal and I'm just a brain in a jar like, eat it, scrub. Take that, noob.
My friend sent me this. My friend sent me this clip, this like little thing, and it's like, "Son, I'm dying. Do they have the funeral processions ready?" And and he's like, "Yeah, as you wish, father." It's like, and as my father requested, that one time he pulled off the sixth trick shot in Battlefield. And I'm like, you know what? Everyone's like, what? And there's the ghost of the dad. He's like, hell yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I love that level of cheese. It's kind of like my dad wanted me to play this at his funeral. It's like a really dumb song, and like the ghost is grooving, and everyone else is like their head in their hands.
That was his favorite song. And they start crying over it. And it's like the dumbest.
Exactly.
It'd be like the chicken dance or something dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Oh, I'd love it. It's true though. Like, that's the thing. I don't think that's completely unfounded. Crazy. It's like, oh, we're gonna do stuff. Yeah, the bot's being weird. I told it laughing my. I told it before it was okay.
what?
The bot keeps LMAO oh, it keeps saying, no, you can't do that, even though I've told it it's okay every time someone says it. It's so true, though.
It let me say it. I had to test it.
Well, I said it's okay now. Did you do it before? Is it like on a per person basis?
That'd be hilarious.
Draco
If
did it
was
earlier,
like,
though. What?
it just doesn't let you.
What the hell? This bot.
Lamau. Lamafeao, even. I mean, I'd be fine if he joined us.
Yeah, I'm more than down to play some more.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
don't
had
think.
some fun
I
with
also don't
the
think
drink.
it's as terrible as people make it out to be.
God, no. Although, unfortunately, a lot of the people that make it out to be that bad have not played it, or they've only played it for 5 minutes. And I don't think I've played a game yet where I can play 5 minutes and go, this is a 10 out of 10. This is amazing. You don't do anything in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'd be
You
like
barely out of a
I
cutscene.
play you. You turn on 5 minutes of God of War. Man, I don't want to watch a movie today. Because
Exactly.
there's at least
Or God
10,
forbid,
15 minutes of
look at Legend of
story.
Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's a classic, it's amazing. The game doesn't even pick up until the first hour in. You're just a little kid getting your sword and shield and talking to random people. Some games have slow starts. That's fine.
Yeah,
Chrono Trigger sucks for the first 5 minutes. You don't get to do anything yet. Doesn't mean it's a bad game.
that was actually one of those very interesting. It's all about Pong. Yeah, just start up instantly. Or Doom.
He's too awesome. He knows Pong is peak gaming. That and Tetris. 5 minutes of Tetris, he might not even be playing anymore. You might lose.
Yep. Oh man, I'm done. Tetris is too hard. I'm over.
uh,
Ping.
Russian
Where's
propaganda
it
block
at?
game. Big fan.
Uh,
My boy Ping.
Ping. That sounds that sounds a little sounds like you tap out Kung Fu Panda or something. I'm pretty sure there's a character named Ping. Indiana Jones looked at it's my 600.
Original
Yeah.
Pitfall is the best. You know, where you jump over pit four
Wait,
times in a row,
is
screen-wise, and you have
Indiana
no idea
Jones
what's
the
going
one
on.
you need two controllers for?
You need
You
two
see?
controllers? What does the second controller do?
Inventory. Yeah, yeah.
What if you only have one controller?
You can't play it. You need two controllers to play this game.
Oh my god, that just reminds me of how you'd see like Wii commercials or PlayStation, where it's like only accessible with PS now, and like you'd see a commercial for that, like buy another controller if you want to play Indiana Jones.
Well, you can
That's so
use
weird.
yeah. Yeah, the first one moves, second one does inventory. Because they only had like one button and four directions. And then you had the switches on the console. Maybe it's just too
So
ambitious for
strange.
the time.
I mean, I kind of get it. You look at like an NES controller and an Xbox controller, and it's like, all right, well, the NES had very limited amount of buttons to combine things to. You look at
Yeah,
games
and then
today, you're
there's
like, man, I wish this Xbox had more buttons.
I don't know if you need more buttons. Like even with the ones that we have, I think the problem is they're people that just don't bind things a good way.
Well, exactly, because there's definitely Resident Evil. Dead Rising 2 was a good example because I was just playing that yesterday to wait for Redfall. I forgot how many skill moves in Off the Record are confined to hold right trigger and push a different button and then hold the button. I was able to use like 12 different moves without equipping anything, just with, hold right trigger, tap B, hold A, tap A, push left or right bumper while doing it, and then push a different one. There was so much surprising contextual buttons without needing to equip things, without needing to have a second controller and a keypad ready. It was kind of nice. I didn't realize, how many there were.
Uh
I
Dreamcast controller
appreciate what
with the
he's saying
little
though.
with the little screen was pretty sick. I do think you could make a pretty cool one. I know the Asus ROG, what is that one even called? I can't remember. There's two. One of them has a screen on it, and I just don't know.
Yeah, if it's useful too, I'd be down for something like that. But I remember when I had my PS4, it was like, oh, there's a touchpad. What does it do? I can turn the page on this thing. Okay, well, what else does it do? I can rotate an item. Well, that's what the right stick does.
Damn
What's
it.
the point of this? Like, if it has functionality, I'm totally down for these cool, additions to controllers. I just need them to do something and not do something I can already do.
I don't think the idea of like having a screen or something on the controller is a terrible idea. Like especially for like
Yeah.
an elite style controller, you could just have your button binds and stuff.
Not just that. I would love if you could, how the snap feature's gone. You could snap things to the screen, like the achievement checklist. I don't use that at all, even though it's a cool feature, because it
It
takes up too much of the screen and it's in my way.
it depends how much I'm gonna. It would depend how like high resolution the screen is. Like if you had like a black and white screen with a backlight, it wouldn't be too bad. The thing if you're
Yeah,
talking about a color screen, it'd be kind of pricey.
yeah. But
Because I
if you
think
just
the
even like a classic Game
is
Boy
it the
style would be
Hyperkin
cheap as hell.
Duke, the Duke one, and it's got a OLED in it, but it's full color too. So
Yeah.
those are going to be like 20-30 bucks a pop, but you can get like small LCD screens that are smaller. Yeah, back to Overwatch
Plus,
footage.
there's so many things that, other controllers can do that the Xbox One doesn't. There's no gyroscopic controls. There's no touch controls. You know, they could easily be implementing something like that since they don't have these other things. Um, there's no touchpad. There's no rotation that I can use it for. There's
I
nothing
think
microphone
gyroscope.
wise or sound based.
I honestly think gyroscope would be the most logical next thing to add,
I agree.
but I
What about the
don't.
HD Rumble though, so I can feel the ice cubes in a cup or whatever was said when the Switch launched with
I gotta
one
be
two
honest.
switch?
The rumble on the Xbox One is Xbox Series controllers is fine. It's good
Oh
enough.
yeah.
Like, what was
I
the game
mean,
I was playing? I can't remember what it was, but you were like you load the shotgun, and every time you load the shell, you could feel the feedback on the controller. I think it was Resident Evil 2 actually,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
or Resident Evil 7.
The
It was
one
Resident Evil
thing,
7 or 8, probably 8.
mm,
But you could
the
feel
one
the
thing
shells.
I could appreciate that they don't do anymore, but on the Wii controllers, they would have like the sound for certain things. I remember I was playing Silent Hill Shattered Memories,
Uh,
and I originally played it on my PSP, and I love that. I re-got it on the Wii because I was like, might as well. It's fun. I have a different way to play it now. Whenever you would answer the phone or like hear certain characters, instead of hearing it that way, you'd hear it in a whisper coming out of the Wii mode, and it was really immersive and it was really cool. I'd love to
I
see stuff like that again.
I'm a little bit on the fence about that because the medium does that with on PS5,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a mixed bag. Because this thing, what was that game? Stick It to the Man, I think, was one of the first games that on the PS4 that I
Oh
played that did
yeah,
that, and
the sticky hand.
it was not good. Well, because you'd like
I
read
think if it's
people's,
optional.
if it's
Oh
optional,
yeah,
it'd be
when you
fine.
read their minds.
Yeah, and it reads through it talks through the controller, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah, it absolutely needs to be optional because there are
yeah.
places where you want to wear the headset or you don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, like if you're
That's when
not
that
using a
happens.
pair of headphones through the controller, does it still count?
I don't know.
It's that's what I mean. It's like I know
Yeah,
that if
you'd
you
have to
put
be able
a
to have settings to fiddle with that because it's a
yeah,
cool feature, but it shouldn't be required.
yes, with like other features on controllers. That's the thing. Like I'm not against putting screens or other things on controllers. I think it could enhance the experience in a lot of ways. But like Susan said, it adds a lot of cost, whether or not that's worth the cost. Like if I was gonna straight up reinvent the Elite from the ground up, I think a screen wouldn't be that out of the question. You could have
Yeah.
it at the top, kind of replace the Xbox button.
Plus, there's already features that these other controllers have that are selling at a similar price that the Xbox doesn't. So I think they can afford to add some of these things without increasing our cost. We don't have that HD rumble. We don't have those haptic, feedback triggers. We don't have any gyroscopic stuff.
We have haptic triggers. I love when people say we don't, but there's rumble motors in there. I've pulled the thing
Yeah, I
apart,
thought
and
they
they
just
do work
don't get
independent.
utilized.
They do. It's just you don't feel them as much.
Hmm.
Like if you play Forza or something like that, they rumble with the car, or whatever. Like they're pretty expressive. We had them before. It's just we don't have the HD rumble tech or the
Yeah.
haptic. Like the the triggers on the PS5. I'm mixed bag about
Hmm.
because they feel like one of those things that you'd want in like a VR headset, like a VR controller, not
Yeah.
a
They
regular
always feel like they're
controller.
gonna break. Like I'm always worried when I use my triggers on there on like shooting games because I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna snap this off.
Oh, you jam the thing and it's just plastic thing inside. And I have seen them broken.
Yeah.
And the part to replace them is not cheap. So
Oh, I bet.
I'm a big proprietor of like fixing my own stuff or stuff being fixable. And I will tell you straight up, if it was me designing some of these things, it would be very different.
Yeah.
Especially the elite controllers, because there's just dumb things about them. Like how
Yeah.
the top is like clipped on, and then you have to pull the screw. You have to pull the whole top off, and then you have to pull all these screws out to get it out, and then it's like one little chunk in the middle, and then you're tied to the. It's kind of madness the way it's designed. I get why it's
Hmm.
designed the way it is, so it can be like a solid bit, but I also just wish they'd use better quality sticks and bumper clickers. Like that's the joke. People always go, "Well, what kind of parts did you use?" I've been asked before, what kind of parts did they use to fix the bumper when the bumper starts breaking. These are replacements for the 360 triggers, the ones that I use.
Huh.
You have to sand down the top of them. They're just a little bit too tall, the button, but they're actually
Hmm.
better quality.
Interesting.
So yes, that's why I was like, it's. I don't think the other ones are terrible. It's just that's the ones I could get. That's what I was
Yeah.
using, and they're better quality. They work better. Sometimes the old stuff's better. Sometimes it's not. They still everything still uses those old style potentiometer things, and the sticks have been the big deal lately. I think.
Yeah.
Every, and
Sometimes dead is better.
we have Hall effects now, and they're like, I would really like to see one of the first parties, be it like Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. I prefer to be Microsoft because when they do something, everyone else copies them.
Yeah. And of course, they don't get credit, but everyone else does.
Yeah, that's
But
what I mean.
like,
It's like Microsoft makes an adaptive controller, Sony suddenly makes an adaptive controller.
yeah, and it went from like, okay,
This
to
is a
like,
dumb
this is
idea
what
too.
gaming is needed.
Yeah, gaming needs this because it's like okay, whatever. It's
Yeah,
Sony is basically the Apple of consoles. Let's be real
absolutely.
here.
Which is one of the reasons it has such, fanfare and media love around it. It's the
Yeah,
exact same as Apple in that way.
it
It's
yeah
got that
if
prestige to it.
yeah it feels like it, but I don't think it's
Yeah. Yeah, there's no
like
actual
shit a bit.
difference. Just like having an Apple phone is no different than Android. But people feel better by having it. And they decide to
It's
gloat and
it's
show
the
others how
brand loyalty
awesome.
and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I found a giant crab.
Boop,
I
boop,
was just
boop, boop,
walking
boop, 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 boop,
in
boop,
this,
boop, boop.
and it's a mud crab, man.
I don't know. I just like we're talking like just strict quality and controllers and building stuff, and making better things. I think the recycle controller was a step in the right direction,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
definitely
not
great too, just concept wise.
concept wise. Yeah, it's like oh, there's all this plastic, and I was watching a thing on um Acer's. Is it Acer that did it? I think it's Acer. Yeah, Acer has this uh laptop that's made of like recycled plastic, and that's the thing.
Oh
It's like
wow.
this is mostly recycled plastic. The case you can't use all recycled plastic because the way it's something to do with molds. and it's not, the yields
Yeah.
become bad, and using 100% is absolutely insanity from my understanding.
Yeah. But even using, 90% is insanely good and helpful.
I hear 60% plus is one of those, uh, you're going to cause yourself problems, but it'll work out in the end.
Yeah.
So, yes, doing the recycled bits, I'm cool with. Not having to put more waste in, good. Let's work on the parts on the controllers that aren't as good. It's time for Hall Effect
Yeah.
to take over, in my opinion. I would much rather have high quality sticks that I don't need to replace, because replacing sticks on any of the controllers is a pain in the ass. You need a
It's
rework
also
station.
really hard to do. Like, I mean, look at Nintendo and their drift.
The
Like, that's such a
Nintendo
huge problem.
the Nintendo ones aren't hard to replace. It's just like you can buy Hall Effect replacements for them, and they're on daughter boards. They're easy to actually pull out and replace. On the PS5, the PS4, and both the Xbox ones and the Elite controller, not the Elite controller, the Switch Pro controller, you have to deal with this. Let me mute you for a second because you're getting weird stuff. There we go, fixed. You have to deal with this crazy sort of, like, there's 6 pads. I think it's 6 pads. You have to unsolder all six of them at once. Pull the thing off. You need a hotter rework station. You can't do it with a regular soldering iron. This is not like an Atari joystick where you can resolder them by hand. And that's kind of what the problem is that you need fancier and fancier tools to repair your own stuff.
Yeah.
And
for the average consumer, they're just not going to have access to that.
no, and that was the thing. Was it Toast? Was Toast? Like, I think it was like a couple months ago, her DualShock 5 broke. And she's local, relatively local to me. And I said, I could fix that for you. I could take a look and try and fix that for you. Because the stick started drifting.
Mm-hmm. You said it was Harry Toast?
No, Chris Toast. She streams sometimes. She's mostly plays PS5. She's one of the PlayStation people excuse me, I follow. And she was talking about it not that long ago.
Seems legit.
So when people say stuff, yeah, she's from Toronto. I think she's Filipino. I don't know. She usually she uses the bike style.
I had misread that for a second when I looked down. I thought it said the flippin' a girl. I was like, yeah, she's flipping a big fan.
She usually does the toast face or like kind of jokey ones. But yeah, she's relatively local. Like, she's lives south of me, and I offered to fix her controller at one point, take a look at it at least,
nice.
see what I could do. But she'd already given it to someone else at the time, or recycled it or something. And this thing is like, I would rather, I get to fix something. I'd fix something or take a look at something than deal with, like, you shouldn't have to buy a brand new thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't like that because that's so wasteful.
Yeah, and it's expensive.
Way I'm trying to make sure.
Scuff sounds familiar. I haven't used one myself though.
Uh, Scuff controllers are good, but they're very expensive to get here.
Is it because of like where you import it from, or is it just in
Yeah, it's
general the quality?
stuff that comes from the States. It's not as bad quality. It's just the thing is, like, getting Scuff controllers here, you have to import. They have to come through customs, and because they have lithium-ion batteries in them, customs is gonna open them.
Hmm.
because it's over a certain amount, so it's gonna pay taxes, and they refuse to do the import taxes for you.
Of course they do.
So it's like I get it. I'm not your top of your list here for who you want to sell to, but it's a simple thing. Like if someone like SteelSeries can do it, then a company as big as fucking Corsair can do it.
True.
Corsair owns Scuff now.
Did they just buy him recently, or was there a merge, or?
Um, a year or so ago, might be longer than that. I honestly, yes, Christos with a K. That's what I was talking about. I found her. The thing is, like, if you want to get a Scuff controller or whatever, I don't know if they even use Hall effects though. Like, there's been a couple that do. There's the Gilly Kit controllers, but I don't know if it's worth spending the extra on it right
You
now
don't think the
because
quality is worth it, or just in general, it just doesn't seem worth
the Gilly
the
Kit.
price?
What does the Gilly Kit controller go for? Let's look quick. Let's do some comparative shopping, shall we? Scuff controllers. So Scuff X Banks. So Scuff's got two levels. I don't like the way they set up their. Okay.
Hmm.
Their back buttons. Let's look at the Pro, the more expensive one. So it's got like a it still has the adjustable sticks, it looks like. And the adjustable triggers, and you can kind of customize them too a bit. These ones use double A's or not? Oh, they Bluetooth wired USB-C.
Huh.
That's not the best.
The
Yeah, I
bad.
kind of wish
Did
that
not the
Microsoft would get off the you can't use our proprietary wireless
Yeah.
system. But
Proprietary in general seems a bit silly.
you have to pull the sticks. Oh, okay. How do you change the stick height? It's not as elegant as the Elite controller, but it goes for 220 base for one of the Scuff Instinct Pros. This is US dollars, by the way,
Okay.
because they're US and Canadian the same, which is why I haven't picked one up. Then there's the
Hmm.
yes. What is it? You want to be on the show too? My cat's come over to say hi. Am I upsetting you? No, it's your pets. Okay. You wanna come up? No. So there's a new Asus controller. Fusion, as they call it. No. That's their AO. Hmm. Kitty. The Kitty Pro. That's the one with the screen on it. Um. Oh, the Mercury Pro does have the low latency 2.4 gigahertz, and it goes
Huh.
for a lovely. I don't know. Well, I'm not getting up. It goes for I don't know.
It's a lot of money that I don't know.
Trying to find. Yeah, it does have the OLED in it. That is the one with the OLED in it. It says you have to use Armory Crate to program the buttons, though. So I guess
You
it's
choose
made
memory crate to
more
what?
for program the buttons.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? No, hold on, never mind. It's wired for Xbox consoles too. Why is this the thing? And then the Gilly Kit one, I think it's like $90.
That's not terrible.
I'm trying to check Gilly Kit. Come home. That's the thing, like products. But again, I think it's only wired. No drifting, patented technology. Yeah, whatever. Uh, that's Switch? They don't have an Xbox One? But the thing is that these controllers, oh, they're on the expensive side.
Brian just found someone in Japan was playing Redfall and enjoying it. It's got the Japanese text and voice. It's definitely
I
weird that
wish I wish I could play it in Japanese
yeah,
audio,
that's what I was gonna say.
but I
It's strange that they
can't.
have the Japanese voice and then they don't let you change it.
Yeah, you get both or none. No, there's one.
Oh no, they're making AI do YouTube thumbnails now.
Oh, this is
How
gonna be
awful.
cursed as anything.
Yeah.
Billy Kit, why don't you have prices on your site? This is dumb. If you wanted a PC controller, you might be able to get a Gilly Kit one, but all of them seem like they're set up for Switch. So they got the B button on the bottom, which is another pet peeve of mine, and I'm sure every gamer out there that has all the consoles. Can we decide on what location to put these buttons?
No, B button in every single direction and a slot.
Hey, where's the X button? The X button is the is I think the well and okay, to be fair, on the PlayStation it is
Cross.
cross because
Even
it's
though
not a
that's not
Phillips
the
in
shape of a
Japan.
cross.
It's a cross.
A cross is the tilted other way, like a plus sign.
Eh, yeah.
Just if we're talking like a physical cross. That's why it confuses me even more, where it's like, oh, technically it's this, but it's also not that. So what now? So should we
You want to look at
should we
releases?
I was
Well,
gonna say,
I'm
should we
still
do that
trying
or
to get
should
these
we
prices
talk
here.
about how amazing ABK is going first?
Oh yeah, that happened right after we went off.
Yeah, that was it that night or
It
that the
was the
next
next
morning?
day. It was next morning.
Yeah, like 8 a.m.
So I think I speak for everyone here when I say cloud gaming is not the primary way we play games.
It's not for anyone. Like, don't get me wrong, it's an interesting,
I
cool thing.
the thing is, I don't
It's
think
not
that's
on the market.
completely. I don't think you're completely wrong. I don't think you're completely right there. I should say. I think there are people that play entirely on cloud, and I think that's fine, 100% fine. But I don't use cloud for much, to be honest.
Mhm.
If there's an Xbox Quest to like get on and play a game, and I don't feel like downloading a Conan Legends style or XL's level of
Yeah.
game, then no.
Oh, like I was saying, it's not that I don't think cloud's cool. I just don't think there's a separate market for it. At least not yet.
I think we're still a long way off from it being a separate market because
Yeah, we don't
internet
have the
is
tech yet.
so uh the
Yeah.
it's blah and blocking the The CMA decided to block the deal on the basis of cloud, as cloud is its own market and Microsoft is going to have its own. Oop, I'm getting me through you.
Weapon?
I'm getting me through you.
Oh,
There we go. Try to say that cloud's its own market and that it is going to hurt competition when there's already all these 10-year deals in place for Activision content.
yeah.
And you have
Which are
companies
being
like,
offered to the literal competitors who would be in the cloud.
yeah, that was the other thing though, is there was like, oh, the cloud competitors can't play these games. It's like, yeah, but you can't play Activision Blizzard games on GeForce Now, which is the biggest,
Exactly.
arguably,
It would
is
be
the biggest name
more
in cloud
being added.
gaming. Yeah,
Yeah, or at least so far.
and that's the thing.
So,
Uh, I don't hate people who want to be like, oh, well, this is whatever. I think it's a really dumb, disingenuous argument to be like, we need to play the game online. Yep, here we go. Microsoft points. Let's play. That's what I do. And I'll hit the button and maybe play it for 10 seconds. Or if it's a big
yeah.
download and it's something I might be interested in trying,
Yeah,
I'll,
then I'll just do it on
I'll,
cloud because I don't
yeah, I'll
want to
hit the
commit.
cloud.
Why
But
commit the
it's,
space and time when I could just try it out this way?
well, the thing is,
And
I've
then if
got
I like it, I'll stick
relatively
with it.
slow internet. So
Hmm.
trying to, play some of these games on cloud only would be not good. So you know one person who plays 100% cloud, or
Dude, that whole person sounds like they're the entire market that the CMA is mad about.
well, the
They're
thing
afraid
is
that it'll
like
be a
the
monopoly
thing is
against the
I could
one guy.
also see someone who maybe doesn't have plays a lot. I could see someone who just doesn't have the money for a console and seeing
Hmm.
the appeal of, I've got good internet or access to good internet and wanting to play stuff just on their smart TV because one, it saves them a lot of power. That's I
Yeah.
think that's a fair. I'm not downing people who want to play like that. That's fine.
But what the CMA might not realize is that not every TV can even do that right now. The TV is very limited. The selection of games on cloud is a bit limited, and the
Yeah.
market is so incredibly small. So rather than being scared to let something grow, it feels like they're stopping them from growing in other ways and just
I
not allowing this to
I
happen.
almost feel like cloud in general is one of those things that is the big push right now. It's like, yeah, we have full control over the games and yada yada yada. But no one thinks about the repercussions, not repercussions, but
The consequences.
the long term points that happen from. Okay, here's the thing: cloud gaming is going to be expensive to run in the long term, and I worry about
Yes.
as a sustainable thing because if the service isn't making money, you're just gonna want to shut it down. I,
Hmm.
I I understand the appeal. Like Nvidia's one is like, oh, you can rent our really high end hardware, and don't have to build a PC to play your favorite PC games that you own. And that's the catch: is you have to own these games to play it on GeForce Now. You
Yeah.
can't. As of right now, you cannot hook up your Microsoft account and play any of the games that you have on the Windows Store.
Yeah.
Or use Battle.net to play any of the games that are only available on Battle.net. So
Yeah.
that
It's
means,
a niche market at the moment.
and that's the funny thing is right now, oh, excuse me. Right now, Nvidia's having a big push for Overwatch 2 with 4070's graphics card because they just came out.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't think it's one of those things gonna like change the world.
Are you sure?
Well, the thing is the fact that they're like, well, the console market, there's no problem here. But cloud's your issue? Like, you can't use PS Now on anything other than a PlayStation device, right?
Not just that. And the PlayStation Now is not as good as some of the cloud services in other places, and it's
But
frustratingly
we
so.
don't have access to new first party games on it. It's old games, right? It's just old PS3
Yeah,
games.
it's also the only way you can play the PS3 games on the newer system, which is infuriating. Like, ugh, on my PS4, I was trying to play some gen games before that because I had a PS1, loved it, PS2, loved it, skipped the PS3, because I'd already had an original Xbox and I went with the 360. I got a PS4 for the few exclusives, but I barely used the thing because I can't play a lot of the games I missed without streaming on their cloud service, which was awful. It kicked you off if you didn't move after a short amount of time, and it also kicked you off if there were people in the queue waiting to play. And it would be like, you have 40 seconds before we shut the game down. Find a save point. I was playing Shadow of the Colossus. I'm like, that's not how the game works. And then it kicked me out in the middle of fighting a Colossus. So I was like, I'm done. Done
Yeah,
with
I
that feature.
remember watching a thing on like I want to say Linus Tech Tips did a video on it. They're going through all the cloud services, and the PlayStation Now was notoriously awful to try and run on anything other than a PlayStation. Like even the
Yeah.
PC launcher is awful.
And I don't want to say it's by design, but it would fit the trend where, for some reason, PlayStation tends to work best on PlayStation. Their games, their accessories, anything. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to say it's a conspiracy, but it is sketchy that a lot of their games tend to run like shit on PC, and then the PlayStation
I
versions
think
look
that
and play the best.
I think that Last of Us Remastered is like an outlier.
Mhm.
But there's other games that are just that are better. Even like
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a better example of high quality. Like I'm interested in playing Returnal at some point, but not
Mhm.
yet. So that's basically the CMA's argument is oh I have not heard of Warhammer Dave. Sorry, I'm just checking chat. And
Yeah.
but that's the thing. I'm not gonna say that someone who plays only on cloud is wrong to do so. The thing is if I had good internet, right?
Mhm.
I might cloud stream at work, like from my
Yeah.
house.
I mean, I did that at
Because you could,
work before we closed down for COVID. I used to sometimes play games on my phone during my breaks because I was playing what I played at home.
but that's the thing. Like, even without XCloud, if you had a game in your Xbox, you could theoretically stream it to your without needing, to have an extra subscription. I don't know. Do you need a subscription to use the cloud service? I don't think you do.
I don't think so. Yeah, don't
Not
quote us,
100%
but
because you're
I don't
hosting the whole
believe so.
thing. Like 100%, it's just you. It's like
Yeah.
you got the game, you're playing the game. But I just don't see the market changing that much.
Not anytime soon.
Not with
I mean,
Ultimate.
there's
You
no
don't need
incentive.
Ultimate for it. Like I'm just saying, if you had so you had like Star Ocean or whatever, and you were at your work or whatever, and you were playing on a quick resume, and you can't just boot into your Xbox remotely at outside and just play it. Like I know you could do that with the PS4 before, but no, you totally can. I remember someone doing it with Nexus when it came out, before it was on cloud in Japan.
Hmm.
They were like playing it on their phone. Yeah, like you just X cloud. I don't know if you need. I don't know if you need Ultimate or anything to have that feature. But I know you can totally just stream to your phone. And that's what I mean. It's
Interesting.
like Like well, that's not a cloud service. That is a a service, a thing you can do. And I think you can also do it on the PlayStation, unless they changed it. But I wouldn't.
Hmm.
They have the backbone too for them, so I think you can. Like you just go into the app and you remote control your Xbox or your PlayStation. And you play the game remotely.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I don't. I just don't think that cloud's gonna take over the world.
I also
People,
don't think it's the real reason that they said that. I think they were just like, we don't have an argument for our case that we had. We have to think of a different reason to drop and block this. What about cloud? It doesn't
it
feel like there's
doesn't have
actually a
cloud.
reason for them to do it. Yeah, exactly. Sony don't have this thing. All
Well,
right,
they
well,
they
why
do,
aren't?
but they just haven't built out the
Yeah,
infrastructure.
that's what I mean. So they're blaming Xbox for potential stuff that they could do in the future. Like, all right, well, the market doesn't exist now. It won't for a while. Where's the backlash for the fact that Sony has VR but the other two don't? Why are they
Yeah.
allowed to enter this
Well,
market
no,
that doesn't
Labo
exist yet?
VR.
Oh
Labo
yeah, you're
VR
right. Look, I
exists.
can build a cardboard box and put my Switch in there, and it's like VR.
I made a VR headset, Mom. Check me out. I'm so cool.
Oh God. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's like you either need to block the deal for that reason and hold everyone accountable for all the reasons you're mad at Xbox, or stop blocking it and being hypocrites. If you're mad at them for some stuff, get mad at everyone for the same thing. You can't pick and choose which rules apply to which people.
Yeah, I actually want to see what's gonna come from this big Congress push against.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
That is, I
I'm
think that's
hoping.
the most interesting thing that's come out of this is that Sony
Oh
defined
God,
the
yeah,
market a certain way, and now the Congress is like, well, why did they have to resort to buying Activision Blizzard to compete?
exactly. They look and they're like, oh, apparently you guys have 96.4% of all of the fucking games from this country. It's kind of anti-trade. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I would love if some of the exclusive contracts were broken because of this. They just had to cut them.
just
Can
because you
you
break them
imagine?
doesn't mean that the games are gonna come quick or fast.
Oh, I know that, but the fact that they could come at all and we get an announcement of it instead of nothing, no news, nothing. Like Final
That's
Fantasy VII was a great example of just
that's why it's
it'll
right here,
be
man.
yeah.
Final Fantasy
Uh,
15. It's sitting here underneath my Sylveons on my thing. It's sealed. When they announce 7 and 16 coming to Xbox, I will crack that poppy and stream it. You can hold me to it.
I will break the seal. It will awaken after its long slumber.
A long slumber. It's Royal Edition too.
The one that's almost a complete game, but still not quite yet.
Because we couldn't really. Is there more DLC on top of that? That'd be really dumb.
What? The Royal one? There's more cut content that they didn't finish and put in, and the multiplayer servers that are down. After they made it a separate thing instead of just leaving it in the game like original.
Golden Week sale, baby. Why is
Well,
Golden Week sale?
what?
Dig Dug!
Yeah, they got the
Da, 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 da.
Digger Dugger. Dig Dug 2 is great. Everyone hated it compared to the first one, but because they're dumb and they don't realize that you can go brrr and destroy an island, and they always kill themselves because they're bad. Uh, it's superior to Dig Dug 1 in every way.
Because you're bad.
Yeah. Dig Dug 2 group, where you at? All two
But
fans besides
do
me.
people actually play Final Fantasy 15? Wait, wait. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition's on Xbox?
Yeah,
Oh my
and I
god.
think it's rated higher than the original.
We can only buy Royal Edition and Pocket Edition now. And the
Yep.
Comrades deal. Like the.
They don't let you buy the base one anymore. Probably because it's not a full game. Although the Royal one isn't either, but it's more full.
We made a Final Fantasy 15 game for mobile phones because this is how broken Final Fantasy 15 is. We couldn't make more content.
Yeah,
That's
the thing that's funny to me too is it's like, you know, we'll see that on there, but we won't see other games like Final Fantasy 1 for 6. They're like, it's too hard to port. You can never port a mobile game to literally the Windows engine. That'd be impossible.
Kemco. Tell
What?
Kemco that.
Oh yeah, well, all of their games are basically ports of that,
Uh,
and they're good.
the Regalia car skin. Yes.
Should we do the new releases?
Yeah. Let's take a look at releases. You got a list handy?
I do. So what day should we go up to? I could
Uh,
do up to the 5th because
well,
after that there's
today
nothing until the
Redfall's
10th.
out.
Yes. We got Age of Wonders 4 and Redfall.
Today, Age of Wonders 4. Is that on Xbox?
Yeah, I believe so. It
Let's
should be.
look.
I'm looking at the Xbox releases. I didn't see it in the coming soon section, but it wouldn't surprise me to be in the new release section magically.
Whoop.
I like how it wasn't there at all, and then you type in something and then it appeared. Yeah, there it is. Age of Wonders 4.
I was taken back by no sunglasses, sunglasses.
Well, obviously that's what the extra $50 is for.
You need the sunglasses.
It comes with a DLC of sunglasses.
Sunglasses DLC confirmed. Uh,
Oh, I'm
I don't
glad it's
know.
only 12 gigs and not 121.
Oh, I've never. Oh, it's a. Is it a 4X game, or is it just a?
I'm pretty sure it's an RTS.
It's an RTS, not 4X.
Is it their might in battle,
I believe my
knowledge
answer
of
is
the
maybe.
arcane, or simply their ability
You
to
got the
inspire
spooky eye and the
others?
flame.
I
Flame
would
and spooky eye.
that
Oh
it is
man, Wonder Woman's gonna give
versatility.
them what for, I tell you what.
Wonder Woman.
To be able to turn any situation to your
Here's a
advantage.
Dorkin. Oh god, it fucking exploded.
Oh, it's tactic combat. Okay, so it's not.
And harness the very
Is it an
terrain of
RTS?
your dominion.
Oh no, it's turn-based. Okay.
To strike allegiances
It looks
and grow
neat.
stronger through unity
Not my kind of game, but if you're into that.
and crush those who rise
Declare
against you.
war or abortion. Those are your two options.
A true Gordier leads
Abortion. Oh
and through
man.
their resolve and their actions usher in a new age of
Everyone's got a
wonders.
spooky eye. And that's the Stargate.
No. Anyway.
Paradox and Triumph Studios.
Cool. Okay,
so
Age
those
of
were the
Wonders.
two for today. Age
Yeah.
of Wonders and Redfall.
Redfall was out last
Tomorrow-
night. You could have played it, so it's okay. We were beta
Yeah, at
testing it
8
last night
PM.
for you.
Yeah, that's what it was. Beta testing. We
Does
got,
coming soon.
Color Pals, Grindstone, Moonrise Fall, and Weeping Willow. Now, Moonrise Fall is going to do terrible because it's got the word fall in it. And all the games with fall in it do awful, apparently.
What was the other game you said? Oh, Weeping
Which
Willow.
one I said for? Yeah, Weeping Willow, Moonrise Fall.
We looked at Weeping
Grindstone,
Willow
and
last
Color
week. I want to
Pals.
say because it's like the one with the weird like.
Yeah, we saw it
It
coming
almost
soon, and we
looks
were
a
like-
little bit porny.
Yeah, we were like, oh, did they sneak past Chara?
Yeah, I think this is we snuck it past Char. Yeah,
Yeah, there was
Age of
one
Wonder
other
4.
one that was like that. I
Sorry,
forget what
Draco
it was
just
called,
commented
though.
on. Yeah, I do think the Age of Wonder. I do hope Age of Wonder finds a great audience. Weeping
Yeah.
Willow is some weird like whatever game. Moonfall Rise. It's here. I remember this being here last week.
Yeah, there were a few
What
I
is
think
this?
we, might have glossed over because they were coming soon. But they weren't coming soon that week.
Yeah. Save or
As clever as it is magical. Is it magical? Not at all. Oh.
but it's very.
Check to play.
Okay.
This is fascinating. Show what the game is. I love when reviews have all that stuff and it shows like a JPEG. It's like that's all you get to see.
This is all you get is JPEG with some text over it. The fact that they've quoted the same review like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, worrying.
I don't know. Is this a port from somewhere else?
It's a game with heart and soul.
Are these preview
8 out of 10
scores?
4.5. I have
Or is it
no
just
idea.
is it just a late port to Xbox?
Made from strings.
Grab the games. Grab them. Grab them. Okay, I don't know.
Ooh. So on the 4th, we have AFL 23, which I assume is American Football League. Mia and the Dragon Princess. I don't know if that's in the store.
I don't
haven't
see
seen
it
that.
here, but let's see. Mia as an MIA.
Yeah, MIA. Yep. And the Dorgan Princess.
Found anime, guys. Wait. Oh, hold on. I thought this was a movie
Is that
for a
it all the way up?
second. I
Yeah,
really
it looked like it.
I thought it was a
Oh,
movie for a second.
What is it?
I think it's an FMV game.
Live action?
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, we got some apparently decent action. Okay. Okay. It's an
Yeah,
FMV
Chinese
game.
kickboxing.
It's got Play Anywhere, guys.
Cool.
For people that care.
You'll love to hear it. What do the screenshots look like? I'm curious.
Probably nothing. Oh, just actors.
Hello, I'm Steve.
I don't know what's going on in this scene. I'm just gonna keep moving. Okay. I
I
mean,
wonder if it's like the dragon tattoo kind of thing and not like an actual dragon princess.
Craig's Vengeance. That looks almost like Masters of the Universe text. Kind of dig it though.
Yeah. Go.
Confused?
I love her face there with the background. It's just like perfect meme template.
It's pretty good, yeah. Oh, it's an FMV game, so I don't need to go too far into it. I still love that we got something completely different with that, but there we go.
I like the mix up of the three. We have Mia and the dragon.
Is this is
Mia
Wales,
the
yeah.
White Lion. Is it an anime?
Wales, yeah. They do
Yeah,
they
there's
did
a few of these.
yeah, they've done a few of these. This is like their wheelhouse. These are usually pretty good. If you're into this kind of thing, they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have Space Gladiators, and then the most exciting one, Ravenlock, which is coming day one to Game Pass.
Ravenlock I have pre-installed. I haven't actually played the last case of Benedict Fox because I've been playing After Image. And then After Image got a bunch of updates and there's more coming and I'm like, sorry, what was the other game? Space
Space Gladiators.
Gladiators. Oh, there we go. Oh man, this art style is
Amazing. Better than The Last of Us.
oh my goodness. This makes me think of like one of those like someone animated it in an afternoon as a joke
reminds
on
me of,
like
like,
something
Castle Crashers.
someone said it at. Yeah, it's kind of Castle Crashers, but a little more basic. It reminds me of some
Yeah.
of those like
Old Flash
animations
games.
people do. No, the animations people do for like podcasts and stuff, like with their favorite
Oh, yeah.
YouTubers or something. It's like this
Yeah,
is what they
what's
look
the
like.
YouTuber one? Storytime or something.
Yeah,
They have those kind of animations where it's
Yeah.
like
nothing
quick and
against
easy.
it. I don't think it's
Oh
bad.
yeah.
But it's just that's what it reminds me of.
We got some big ones on the 5th coming.
Oh, it's a roguelite. Okay, so the
Ooh.
5th was
We
1899
got
Canadian.
Death or Treat, and I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, Fortree. Coming soon. I
Yeah,
know
Death or Treat.
Ravenloft was Lock. Oh, Space Gladiators was here. Oh, okay.
What is that one? Schwarder?
We didn't look at Ravenlock. Ravenlock has this weird art
It's got
style.
a really unique art style.
Yeah.
It
I
looks
don't
like
know.
It'll be cool.
As long as it looks so. Oh, it's 3D. I thought this was 2D for some reason.
No.
Why was this
This one's
one?
3D.
Why did I think this one was 2D for some reason? Okay, well, It kind of looks
Have you
like.
seen the trailer yourself?
I think I have. I don't know. Let's watch it. Let's watch it quick because this game looks interesting.
Yeah.
I need witch hat. Oh wait, no, bunny ear hat. Puppers.
Bunny friends.
It looks like HD Minecraft, like
like the
a
voxel
billion
style?
more pixels. Well, they kind of voxely, but like there's a lot of detail on them.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, though. Oh, let me just pause and go into my inventory here. Yeah, the art style
got the-
is really unique.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of obviously she can't take off her arm and beat people to death with it, but medieval.
Yeah. There's another great series that would be fun to come back. The reason this looks exciting to me is that I feel like they don't have as many platformer bullet hells anymore. It
Oh
looks like
wait, is this a
little bit like
Canadian
that.
game? Hold on. That's creepy.
You didn't even know it was Canadian? Or
I don't know.
that it was
I just saw
3D?
Ontario and I don't know if that's. It might just be their name.
Hi, Steve. Steve Ontario.
I don't know. It has the colors of the flag. So I'm just looking it up quick. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. Oh man, that game's flexing on Redfall with that 60 FPS plus.
Hmm.
I'm literally playing it. Well, I mean, I'm paused on it.
Yep,
I'm
they're
trying
Toronto
not to
based.
play.
Yep, they're local. Okay.
Oh,
I wish them all the
wait, they're
best.
named Ontario, but they're from Toronto?
That's the province name. Toronto,
Look, I'm
Ontario.
stupid and I'm not Canadian, so I'm gonna pretend to be mad about it and act like it's about me, even though I'm not from Canada.
Yeah, Ontario creates. Ontario creates. Yeah. This is let me just
That's
look here.
cool.
Ontario
All I saw
creates.
was the
Okay, it's
publisher with the
it's
Cocoa
it's government
Cucumber.
funded. Yeah, it's Canadian government funded. This is Canadian government
Oh,
money.
government funded.
Government video
The
games.
man's paying for this game.
Actually, because there's a Canadian content laws up here, so you need to have a certain amount of Canadian content and things.
Mhm.
They actually fund stuff all the time. There's actually
That's
there's a
awesome.
national film board, so yeah, small projects can get funded. It's kind of cool to see one from it, and I'm actually very much looking forward to playing this. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow.
The 4th.
It says the 3rd here at 20 o'clock.
Oh, so that would be
It has a
8
time.
o'clock. Yeah, so that's 8 o'clock tomorrow night. For some reason, they're doing 8 o'clock just like Redfall.
Hey, I'm down for it. I don't care. This
I
is
mean,
cool.
I don't mind 4 hours early. I just don't understand why.
Yeah. Well, I did not realize they were local.
Yeah. Very cool.
I am gonna follow them on Twitter now.
So for the 5th, we have Hogwarts Legacy finally on last gen.
Did we have the
is
Swordbreaker one? Why is this so weird order? But whatever. Anyway,
that's
Hogwarts Legacy
on the list too. We got
I want to see how this game runs. That is, I just
or
want to see the
doesn't
videos
run.
and how it runs because the Switch version is also coming, and that is the version I want to see.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be very fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Titans Pinball, Hogwarts Legacy,
Titans Pinball. Yep.
the X Crawler.
Do you have Swordbreaker's origin there? Origins? Sorry?
It
It's
says
plural.
on the 5th it's coming, yeah.
Yeah. Illustrated text quest. In the Swordbreakers universe. Is anyone familiar with the Swordbreakers
Is that
universe?
a universe I should...
Apparently.
A universe I should know? Not in a mean way.
Wait,
I just
what?
have no idea. What?
So Hogwarts Legacy here, right? Fifth. and then we skip all the way to the 9th. So there's nothing happening between the 5th and the 9th?
Ironically, on here it says we go from the 5th to the 10th, but there's still some more for the 5th that aren't there. For some reason, Gruta or Gruata, I don't see that.
Tell me.
And Def,
Gru?
Gruta.
Gruta?
Yeah. I don't know what a Gruta is.
Is it a Gruta or just Gruta?
Just Gruta. I was just saying it as if it was, something that is multiple. Like, oh, I found A1.
Am I good to look it up somewhere else?
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. The other one is Def or Treat. So instead of Trick or Treat, it's Def or Treat. Sounds tasty.
I just want to look at this Gruta game first. Look
Yeah.
at Gruta True Achievements. Can you show me what this game is? I don't even know. No one's telling me anything.
Let me
And all
double
these
check.
and all these ads on this page are gross. I am so glad I am not streaming this. Oh, it's on Steam. Okay.
Ew. Gross.
Oh, it's this looks like an art film to me.
Huh.
It's got a weird like
Narrative-driven platformer game with a child running away from a monster that's causing trouble for her family.
but it almost looks like the perspective is kind of it's weird. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like fisheye lensy almost. Like you're looking at something on a bit of an angle, like it's on a page, and the page is twisted. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a story book kind of thing.
I do not know. But that is coming.
Yeah. Did it already release on Steam or? Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, in
Private review on
December
there.
2022.
It's on sale for 38 cents.
It's 45 cents Canadian, but it is on sale. Normal price is $3.40 and 40 cents
Yeah.
Canadian. It's
It's got decent reviews.
It's only got 3 that I can see in English.
Yeah. Weirdly, it says there's 5 user reviews, but I only see 3. But they're all thumbs up with
Browse
no
all 5.
reviews.
There's still only
I
3.
weirdly don't have the option.
Why does it say there's more, but there's not? Use all 5.
I don't know. Yeah, it
I don't
just
know.
refreshes and then there's free
The
again.
prologue of the Gloomy Whispers. Okay, maybe there's more coming soon. All right, Gruta didn't come out.
Maybe
It was
this was like a mini prequel for the full game because this came out right on Christmas for 2022.
sorry. It was Death or Treat.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. What is this? Let's look at this. Since some people can actually look at something and we can react to it briefly.
I like the art for this. Very cute. This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Ah.
Oh, it's like it's a ghost town. Story Face boo.
What's the actual game look like?
Stupid boy. I
Oh,
think it's gonna segue into the gameplay. Oh,
there we go.
it looks kind of like Hollow Knight in terms of gameplay. And I say that as in, it's a cute little guy with a platformer. And he looks like he barely swings
He's
his
kind
arm
of-
when he swings.
It kind of floats.
Yeah, although that makes sense as a ghost to be a bit floaty.
But did you see
As
the
long as
name
it
of that
handles well.
store?
No, I just missed it.
It
What
was
was
it was something soft. Started with an N.
it?
All right.
Jump scare was his ability. This looks pretty cute.
Yeah, this doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah. You got different kinds of abilities and weapons, platformer. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense. It was like, I'm gonna sell stuff. This guy's bad. Alright, kill everyone. Well, that was
Uh,
weird. I moved my controller in Redfall for a
and
sec, so my controller wouldn't shut off.
I
And
do not know how much this game is, so I can't tell you. But
yeah,
Death
I
Retreat
assume
looks.
it'll be 15 or 20, but I'm unsure.
I'm not sure. That intro is probably expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
What are
all.
the details?
It doesn't even have a release date here. It's 14-ish.
Hmm. I thought it said Facebook for a sec as I was scrolling by that, but it's
It's a
Facebook.
roguelite. #5.
Single player.
Okay. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's got a decent amount of languages. It's got Korean text. There's no voice track. It seems like.
Yeah, didn't seem very heavy on voice lines from the trailer.
No. So there's no audio. No voiceovers. It shouldn't be too expensive. Okay. What's next?
All that's left is Swordbreaker, and then the X Crawler.
The X. I don't think the X crawler was there. Let's look. The X crawler. Yeah, it jumps all the way to 9th. The X crawler is not here.
There's Titans Pinball.
Um, it's pinball, guys. It's you play
But
it or
we
you don't
have
play
to
it.
know. Are there paddles? Is it ball?
Is it space crawler or?
No, it's EX and then Crawler. Sorry,
Oh,
it sounds literally the same.
okay. I'm going weird places here.
There's some anime on the right with the Excite.
I don't know if we're here. This is probably
Uh,
doing it live. Nope, it ain't here.
Strange. Although I have no idea what it is, so maybe not strange.
I guess.
I feel like they said Puzzle Quest 3 was coming last month, but I don't see it in the store when I searched either. I wonder if it got
Yeah, I remember
pushed.
us
Let me
talking
check.
about it.
Puzzle Quest 3.
Sorry, I was just looking at the shovelware
Yeah,
and deciding
they
if I
do
should
be
make a
like that.
comment or not. Besides what I just got. Puzzle Quest, Puzzle Quest 2, Puzzle Quest
Yeah.
Caltrix, Puzzle Quest add-on, Marvel Puzzle Quest. Nope, still not here. They lied to us. Puzzle Quest 3 is never coming. It's abandonware at this point.
Weirdly, it's oh, that's funny. It's free to play
Emojis.
on it's free to play on Steam, but it's in early access, it says. But DLC wise, you can get 59.97 dollars worth of DLC. So that's worrying.
These guys saw Hatsune Miku puzzles and were like, we can sell stuff. Oh, but you get Hatsune Miku music in this.
I wish we had the Hatsune Miku rhythm game.
Project
I have that on
Diva.
my Switch. Yeah, I would love to play Project Diva on here. I
I'm
even had
terrible
the
at
chibi
Project
one on
Diva.
my DS.
I am terrible at Project
I
Diva,
think it was
but yeah.
Project Miari on there,
I
where they were
mean,
all
you
chibis.
get to do pictures of Vocaloids, it looks like.
Yeah, and they have all the
And
music
you get
videos.
the music. Oh, you get music videos too? Okay, this is much more like this is like all right. I was gonna clown on this a bit, but you know, for
What did that say next to the description of the features?
all right.
Oh, no problem. Since I'm like a second behind, I didn't see that you had gone away. Local Multiplay 2, Xbox Achievement, Single Player, Cloud Save, and Xbox Live. I have no idea what Xbox Live is for, if it's local and single.
Yeah,
Public
great song.
collaboration songs included.
Oh, oh,
That's cute, especially
10
if you like
songs. How many
jigsaw
songs do
puzzles.
you get?
Uh,
Is 2-player co-op for puzzle fixing? I don't know.
39 illustrations.
I mean, we can go through the let's go through the Golden Week sale quick and see if there's anything good
Yeah,
here. That
might as well go
screams
for
at me.
those sales.
Near as much as I hate Square, $26 is pretty fair for Near. I think I've seen it cheaper. Monster Hunter Rise if you don't have Game Pass, Like a Dragon
Although, here's the thing
Issue.
that you should know. Monster Hunter Rise with Sunbreak, if you don't get the deluxe one, is like, I think $45 or $50. Sunbreak alone is 40. So you can get Rise with Sunbreak that just released for very cheap right now, if you do want to get both. That's what I did, because I wanted to get Rise already, and I was like, well, I'm getting Sunbreak anyway.
Yeah,
Pay
it
an
makes
extra
sense.
$5.
Yeah, it's fine. Naraka Blade Point. I'm hit or miss on Naraka Blade Point. Is that like a bonus? Oh, it's the Ultimate Edition. Is it still
AI
on Game
Somnium,
Pass?
if you don't have it. Oh, it's still on Game Pass.
Both of these are
I'm pretty sure it's
fantastic
free to play.
games.
Yeah,
Definitely play
Somnium's
them in
free.
order though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
How
Somnium
much is
files.
the other
Uh,
one? Is it 40 still?
$47.99. It's still pretty new.
Yeah. So it's probably 45 for us.
Maybe less. I thought that was Enchanted Arms on the third row there for a second, and then I looked at it and I'm like, no, Brain, that's wrong.
Wild Arms would
Aeon
also
Must
be cool.
Die.
So mean, what
That's
did he
Focus
do?
Home. This looks like it's trying to be anime. That's a sick art style, though. I can,
Yeah.
like I can clown on things for something, but that's a sick art style.
Yeah. It's very
Right.
Gundam.
11:11. Memories retold. Oh, okay. We're gonna move away from that. That's war. We don't talk about war. It's a Canadian game, it seems. Fatal Frame. How much was this one? $44.99. This is the better one in my opinion. Of the two, this is the one to get. If you're gonna get,
And they're
if you
both good. It's just this one is better.
this one. When I say better, it's better in like the story way. It feels more tense. It doesn't have weird downtime where you're at the shop in between. I definitely like Mass of the Lunar Eclipse better. So if I had to recommend Mass of the Lunar Eclipse, because is Maiden of Black Water also on sale?
I'm not sure.
Oh, we'll find out. Dig Dug 250. It's Dig Dug. This looks like a. It's a cam. Oh, it's a camo game. It's high hit point. Okay.
But what about Dig Dug 2?
Dig Dug 2, not here.
This is Dig Dug 2 slander.
Why is Fatal Frame here? Is it both? Battle Wonderworld. Still a good game. Karen says. These
We
are
have a homie who
also
says it's amazing.
Chemco games, right? Yeah, these two are Chemco games. RPGs. Battle Chasers Night War is not my
It's a
kind of
decently
game.
fun game.
It's easily fun. $6. Probably get some good things.
Yeah, it's a turn-based. I
Blacksmith
forgot where I
of
am
the
in it. I
Sand
tried to play it
Kingdom.
recently.
Hmm.
Oh, I actually bought that one. That one's very cool.
Yeah, I was actually playing RPG Golf Legends. It's interesting. Capcom Arcade Classics. Danganronpa 2.
16 or 17.
Oh, Danganronpa 2 is like
Oh, yeah.
$9. I mean, if you haven't
Yeah,
played
and here's
it
something,
and want to play it,
It's leaving Game Pass in a few days. So, if you do want it, get it while it's on sale.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good get.
Risk Tale for $10. That's also a good get. $17.50 for Corpse Party.
Corpse Party fan
Corpse-
here. It's great games.
Corpse Party is
The series in
pretty good.
general is great. It's just very dark.
It is. I wish we could get Death End Request on Xbox.
That'd be great.
Same writer, if you were wondering.
What was it?
Yes. Makoto Cohen? Yes.
Oh,
Code
I
Vein?
didn't
How much
even
is Code Vein?
realize.
$12.
Code
This is
Vein
a
is just
steal,
sexier
kids.
Dark Souls.
Why is
Get
the...
it?
Oh my god. It's $109 for the other set, but it's $11. Like, just buy it, guys. Just buy it.
You
Code
could get
Vein's...
the normal one and all of the DLC separately, and it would still be less
It's
than
my
that deluxe
girl,
one.
yo. Yo.
Yes, she is best girl.
Yep. Fighting classics. Danganronpa V3. That one's gonna be on Game Pass for a while longer, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of the not good one, but I had a lot of problems
Deadcraft
with
is
it.
pretty cool.
Deadcraft? I've never looked at this. What is this?
It's like
Hide your children, everybody. It's a marvelous game.
marvelous.
There might be boobies.
I wish. Just zombies.
Oh, it's a survival type game.
Yeah, well, sort of. When you're at your base, you try to survive. Then you go out and hunt stuff, Zambos, do combat. It's a weird kind of game. Not in a bad way.
Now I get to burn you to ashes.
We got some decent DLC too. One of them's a spoiler though. You should definitely play the game before you do it. And since you're half zombie, you can use abilities.
You said there was no boobies.
Yeah, there is. What are you talking about?
He said no boobies and then they showed up. Love it. This is a marvelous
real
game.
booby.
They can put them somewhere.
Well, exactly. If they don't put it somewhere, it wouldn't be a marvelous game.
Yeah.
I just meant it's not a focus in any way. It's more zombie related.
You have mutations and stuff? Interesting.
Yeah, you can like upgrade your zombie side or your human side more,
No matter what it takes.
and it affects the way you play and how you survive too. Because you gotta drink so you don't get dehydrated, and eat so you don't run out of energy. I believe if you run out of food, your health starts to go. Or no, yeah, your health starts to go, and then if you run out of water, your stamina starts to go, and the screen gets very blurry because it's trying to stimulate that you're dehydrated.
DMC4
interesting.
Special Edition. Is this
Yeah,
the one
I'm
Ninja
sure
Theory
DMC
made?
5 is too.
No, that's DMC. Never mind.
Yeah,
Um,
you're thinking of the remake, quote unquote.
DMC. Yeah, DMC.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
All
I
the Devil May
totally
Cries are-
forget. Yeah, I totally forget that game exists sometimes, and then I remember and laugh, and then get sad. All the Dragon Balls.
I
and
know,
Dragon
I know.
Quest.
35.10? I got a physical copy for way cheaper than this.
I think I bought it for like 9 or 19 when it was on sale. It's definitely worth it. I got it when it was
It
leaving
Made in
Game Pass.
Blackwater is here. It is cheaper, but I definitely prefer the other one. I definitely prefer the Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. And some more Final Fantasy stuff.
Did you say it's more Final Fantasy style or more
No, I
Final
said
Fantasy stuff?
and more Final Fantasy stuff, and I'm just gonna
Okay.
scroll past it because Suzu knows how we feel about this. Kemco though, Kemco is a bro.
Yeah, the real homies.
Yep.
Always making Xbox ports and surprisingly good games. And I say surprisingly because a lot of them are mobile ports.
Yeah, they don't look like like even Golf Stories, the RPG. Sorry, it's not Golf Story. It's Golf RPG Legend. It's quirky, cute, and kind of fun. So it's not like gonna be the best thing ever. Man, there's so much Square Enix stuff here. Man, that's
I
like
know,
they
it's
hate us or
depressing.
something.
Yeah.
Wait, we did get Mom? I didn't. I thought we
What?
didn't get Mom on Xbox
Melody
for some
Memory?
reason. It's
I
Mom.
think we got it late.
God.
Yeah,
Mom.
actually, it's Mom International.
Mom, International Edition. Mom looks pretty young in that one. Okay, moving on.
Lost Judgment's on sale, but for some reason Normal Judgment is not.
Doesn't mean it's not. Everything's all weird up. Manto. Man, there's a lot of stuff on
There's-
Golden Week sale.
I
Little
know.
Nightmares 1 and 2, that's a steal for $20, to be honest.
Yeah. And now it's the section I'm really pissed and upset about.
We're getting into the Capcom. Mega Man 11!
I have all the Mega Man games here, but not Legends, because they won't let me buy it.
You mean, Battle Network.
That's what I meant. God damn it. I was thinking of the Battle Network
They still haven't done Legends,
sequel.
though. Have they?
Yeah. No, but they people are trying to get them to do it now.
Is this a typo? Is this supposed to be Maiden Tower?
I hope not. I hope it's just Midden Tower. So I can say it's
Oh,
the
man.
mid game.
Oh, man. Wall. Love it.
It's a sexy wall, bro. Look at them
It's one of those
eyelashes.
yokai. Oh,
Yeah.
she fights for you. Okay.
She's a homie.
Whoa. What is that noise coming from your side?
What noise?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's bad.
It says my mic's not even moving.
Make sure you're plugged in all the way. You're getting weird reverby. Just gonna mute you for a second, let you plug that in, plug that, plug that in, because we're almost done here. No, it's not better. Oh no. Make sure, is your mic removable? Did it maybe get bumped? I'm getting like you're coming through as like a robot. Okay. And when you fix it, $5. We're still trying to sell Mighty Number 9. Oh man. Oh. Camco? There's so much Camco stuff on sale, guys. Oh no. I think it's worse. Uh-oh, I don't know what's going on here. You try leaving the call, come back in. I'll invite you back in. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Just wanted to comment. Note to everyone out there. Oh. Oh man, you're still broken. Alright, I'm gonna leave you muted on stream because it is not good. Outside of just like restarting the Xbox, but that's not worth it at this point. Was there anything else in the sale you wanted to talk about or bring reference to? Ooh, I own Persona 5. That's not too good a deal. Oh, wait, did it fix itself? It fixed itself. Okay, cool. I continue back on.
Well, I literally did nothing, so I don't know what the problem was.
I don't know either. It was just bazonkers. Persona 5's not at a great sale, but it's still a good game.
I mean, I got
This is
the
this is a
Steelbook
pretty
personally.
Yeah, I've got the Steelbook too.
That's a great sale, though.
$18 for the two, yeah. 18 Yeah, that's a good one.
Especially because it's the deluxe edition ones, right?
Is it Deluxe Edition?
I think so.
Does it come with the Deluxe Edition stuff? Because if it is, that's like huge. It doesn't say Deluxe, but even without the Deluxe, it's still.
Was there a different one that comes with the deluxe stuff? Because I could have swore there was a bundle that had them both.
If it's between. What's the Deluxe Edition have in it? Like, you just get more outfits. You can unlock the Samurai. Oh, wait, that's the Resident Evil 7. Deluxe me, baby. You think the Deluxe is the better way to go?
I mean, I'm not saying it's the better way to go, but if you're getting into these, it's kind of nice to be able to have the time is money thing plus all the extra costumes, weapons, music.
Mm,
It's definitely not required, but it's a more fun experience, especially if you're new to the series.
I think they're fine. I think the getting the two is for the extra $2 off of the digit. I'd rather get the 2 games. I know a lot of people have problems with 3.
I love free. It's not like a super great game in terms
It's
of
not a
Resident
good
Evil 3.
remake of 3, but it's
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
it's still a great game to play.
Boulder Punching at $10 and Resident Evil 6, which I like to call the Senpai files. Yeah, Resistance is the problem with Resident Evil 3. Too much dev time went to Resistance and not enough went to the actual game.
Yeah, and
So
now no one cares about it, which is sad. Same
yeah,
thing happened to what's it called? Reverses.
wait, that
They
came
didn't
out.
learn
I
their
didn't even
lesson.
realize it came.
Yeah. Not only did it
Is
come
there a
out,
code?
nobody knows it came out.
Did Village have a code for it, or did you need the disc for it? I'm trying to remember. I'm looking quick. I'm opening my disc here because I remember
It might be free to play now.
it's a code. It comes with a code. I have a unredeemed code for both. Because I think 3 comes with the code for Resistance. I played Resistance for a bit.
It was a fun concept, but they never really put enough time into it to make it worth it.
Apparently. Well, I mean, Revelations 1's here. That's got Jill in it.
Yeah, I love
Revelations 1.
Revelations 1 and 2.
I don't like 2 as much. 1 is the better of the 2, in my opinion. Revelations 2 is trying too hard.
I mean, I think it was just because it was in between some edgier games. It had to play to its edgier strengths.
No,
Because it takes place
the
in
fact that
between 4 and 5. No, 5 and 6.
Revelations 1 is
No,
decent. It's
my
like
bad.
they're not like the best of Resident Evil. Revelations 1 was a 3DS game first.
Yeah. Well, they
So
both were. Oh no.
no,
I'm thinking
Revelations
of
2 was not.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of
Dual
the other side game that they had on there. I can't remember the name right now. It'll come to me eventually.
Revelations is fine. It's kind of like a cross between something more goofy like RE5 and something more
I
serious.
just wish they had
like...
online co-op for the main game. You can do raid mode with friends.
Oh,
you
mean for Resident Evil Revelations 2? You can do if you play it on
both.
If you I thought there was no co-op in Revelations 1, or is there? Local.
There's no co-op. There is online for the raid mode.
I know it's only for the raid mode. What I'm saying is there a co-op mode in Resident Evil Revelations 1? Because in Revelations 2
there's only a local.
Has a split screen mode. And if you play it, I know Steam has I don't know why Xbox doesn't have a feature like this.
Yeah, where you can just play online locally.
It's play together. Steam has one where you can just like if it's a local co-op game, you could literally just call a person, make a call in game, and then you just play
Switch
together.
does that too, ironically. On the
Switch?
Virtual Console things it has.
Only the Virtual Console one.
Yeah, but the fact that it exists on there means that they could easily implement it into other games, especially something as powerful as the Xbox.
Xbox, yeah. Problem. No, I think they could do it because you have the infrastructure for Stream Anywhere, or Stream or whatever. But that's besides the point. The co-op in Revelations 2 is so piss poor though, because you end up being the little girl that can point at things.
Or you get to be the one who flashlights people and smacks them with a crowbar in slow-mo.
Moira's awful too.
Yeah, like the concept is cool. Like she weakens someone and you can kill them as Claire.
She's so whiny.
The only time she became bearable was after spending a long time with the old man. But that happened so late in the main game, and the expansion for it, as cool as it starts, is really, really hard and obnoxious.
Revelations 2 just got boring fast for me. It's like, we're going from thing to thing. It just doesn't flow well. Revelations 1 was fine. I was not a big fan of we're suddenly on this other team, and they're like joke characters in the middle of
Oh, they
I,
die off very quick though. But then you have to switch between Chris and
it's not
what's her
Chris.
name,
It's what's her doodle.
Jessica. No,
Jessica.
you're thinking of Parker. Parker and Joe switch a bunch, but then there's also a section where you have to do Chris and Jessica.
Jessica, yeah. It's
They're one-off characters. With the what is it called? Not the FBC. They've never been introduced again, even though Revelations 1 ended on a possible cliffhanger. It wasn't the FBC, was it? Or is that
no, that's Control. I was
but
okay,
it is
Gold
something
Edition.
similar to that.
Is it worth the $9 extra to get the Shadows of Rose? Probably.
Yeah, because it also comes with some of our stuff too.
Yeah, the bonus mercenary mode
Third
stuff.
person mode and the mercenaries.
Yeah. Oh, Gold Edition.
Rune
Still the best
Factory's on
Resident Evil.
sale.
Actually, wait, I lied. This is probably the best one because Resident Evil 7 is the best modern Resident Evil game. Y'all can
I
fight me on it.
disagree. It was a good game, but it was definitely not the best.
It brought the series back from the dead. You got crap like this.
I don't think it was dead.
This.
It was a great game.
No,
I
it
love Resident
wasn't.
Evil 6.
No, it wasn't.
I'll fight
It was
you. This is a great game.
Simmons.
Yes, and you only fight him 17 times, and one time he's a dinosaur. What's your point? And one time he's
Simmons.
Mothman.
Resident Evil 7 is like peak. It's literally peak Resident Evil.
No, it wasn't spoopy enough. Like, I definitely loved it.
Resident Evil 7
but-
is super spoopy. What are you talking about? There's
No, why are you
literally a
playing
lady
in VR?
with. Oh my god.
All the enemies were just black mudmen who walked around. The
No.
bosses were unique, but all of the molded were lame. They were just goofy boys.
The molded weren't that spooky, but the bosses were the best part.
Well, yeah, but you don't always get to fight the bosses.
7's not. I find 7 to be pretty replayable, but yeah, I can see that. It doesn't hold up with how spooky. The spookiness
Everyone
does
knows
not
the
hold up.
replayability is with the blackjack mode and all the separate versions of that.
The end of Zoe
DLC.
is also just. End of Zoe
It's
is.
literally boulder punching simulator, but in first person.
Pretty good. Resident Evil
Rune
0
Factory
is a
4.
mess. Yeah, Rune Factory 4 is here. Now
I
that we're through
love
the
Resident Evil 0. I also love Code Veronica. With a few other people in the group chat who do, but I know someone who doesn't. Someone's not a very big fan.
Did you notice what's not on sale? Because no
What?
one cares about Code Veronica.
Or because it's last gen and none of the 360 Resident Evils are on sale.
There were 360 games here. Maybe they're farther down. Code Veronica's not good. It's not good. It's so bad.
Bullying it. It's a good game. He's mean.
It's two games merged together, and
Yeah,
it's
for the
just like
price of
full
one.
of
What a steal.
memes. Yeah, what a steal! It's so good. I don't think you could
all
do
the
it.
Resident Evils are full of memes.
I don't
are
think you
almost
could.
a Joe
I
Smith.
honestly don't think you could redo Code Veronica or.
Oh, you totally could. They've remade every single one of them so many times.
Yeah, but you still gotta have cross-dressing boy.
I mean, if
I'm just saying
what's it called?
I'm
Final
just saying,
Fantasy 7 could do it.
that's different because it's
Why
kind
is
of
it
mocking the
different?
way
You
they do it.
cross-dress
In,
too.
the way
What about
Code
the
Veronica
sexy
does
men
it is
who do
not.
bad things with him. Well, they're gonna have to update that the same way all games are ruining their originals by updating stuff and being unfaithful.
I don't
Welcome
think.
to the future.
I don't think Code Veronica. I think Code Veronica stay the way it is and could just stay there in the little hole.
So bully. So bully.
Code Factory 4 Special.
It's a great game. It's also
A game
a really
you're going
good
to play
sale.
forever. That is a really good sale, actually. Yeah, 50% off. Nice. Samurai Warriors.
Especially when it's only 20
5.
bucks.
That one has a cool art style, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Solid.
It reminds me of
Maybe not the faces, but
Fire
like the
Emblem
fabric
games.
and stuff. No, like the fabric and the super defined. It's very
Yeah, the
manga.
hair.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah,
It's
this game's
very
sick.
Oh yeah, that one looks more like Demon Slayer, but Fire Emblem 3D games recently have had that similar art style. The
Anyway,
almost as cool but not quite Persona game.
31 32. It's on Game Pass. That's decent. Do I recommend? I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. It's just, there are better options.
It's Persona Light. It really is. But
Yeah.
honestly, if you have Game Pass, I'd give it a try. It's pretty cool because it's
Oh
cyberpunky
yeah.
and weird and you have mom. I love Teen Moms. Teen Moms are my favorite. Solstice. This game keeps coming up. I see this game on sale all the time, and these sales are decent. I've never actually played it. Anyone actually played
Wait, can you look
Solstice?
at it for a sec? It looks familiar.
It does not have a video. I just tried.
Uh, I don't think I've played this, but it sounds very familiar to me.
There's like a
And I
ghost.
don't know why.
You have a ghost follower
Scooby.
person, and
Ah,
they're
so
helping
it's
you fight.
beyond A Tale of Two Souls.
Maybe.
Where's William Dafoe?
Star Ocean, the Divine Force. Again, my homies hate Square Enix.
Still waiting for a better sale.
It's not a great sale. The game's decent. It
Yeah.
really is decent.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely will give Square some money for that. It's
Shishu
cheaper.
has said it's DMC like, but it's Solstice, but it's not very good. Okay.
How depressing.
Maybe wait for a better sale than 30% off then.
Yeah.
We're in the square. Ah, the greatest game.
Yeah. Which I hate that cover for all the reasons.
Yeah, I hate the cover for reasons too, but yeah. Stranger in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins is absolutely fantastic. Whoever sat
Yeah.
down and was like, okay, I want to make a Final Fantasy game, but its theme's going to be Frank Sinatra's My Way. That
I
man
still
deserves
think
a raise.
I can't give credit to that guy. I have to give credit to the guy who asked the higher ups to let him do this. Because everybody has these dumb ideas in their head, but only one of them was ballsy enough to go, now hear me out.
My
If you let
way!
me lead this project, I can assure you that Frank Sinatra and tons of memes
We need
will be
use
the
of My
focus.
Way. Okay, that's a spoiler. Story of Season, Friends of Middletown. Street Fighter.
Not a bad game, but you could get Rune Factory for cheaper and it's better.
Is this a
Not
Street
crazy.
Fighter 1 and 2 or 2?
I
1,
think
2,
that's the one that comes
3?
with like 12 different games.
What is this one? Tell me. Well, there's like 5 or 6 different versions of 2,
Yeah.
and I might be underselling it there.
But the other version
Oh, there's 12.
has
Yes, there's
Darkstalkers.
12. Yeah, the other one's better.
Yeah, but this one does come with Puzzle Fighter.
Capcom
But
fighting.
Darkstalkers, though.
Yeah, but you get Darkstalkers and the challenge. That's
Wow.
where is it? I saw it earlier. The fighting package, whatever. We'll just keep going quick.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think it's with
Strider.
an F.
Strider was an interesting game.
Strider's
I don't
a great
think
game. I mean, it's a well,
I
I don't know if it's a
didn't-
remake per se. It's a retelling of the original.
it's still pretty hard though.
Oh
When
god,
I
yeah.
remember playing it, so you're in for a rough one with that one.
But that's the Strider series in general.
Sword Art Online.
Tales of- Do-do-do-do.
I already own it, but I haven't played it yet. 10. Okay, this is a steal. $10, 5 cents. This is a steal. Steal. Buy this right
It's a
now.
fantastic game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about it at Christmas time for about the same.
I think I bought it for full price on that one.
This one looks a little rough.
It's definitely an indie title.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
got an
you have
indie
it in
look.
your arcade machine? Yeah, it's excellent.
The 2 Dark Pictures ones, Man of Medan and Little Hope. Those ones aren't the good ones, are they? Unfortunately, the best one's stuck on PlayStation. So more Square
Which
Enix, the Deal Field Until Dawn. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I was trying to think. I'm like, I think all the anthology games are on here, but yeah, their other game Until Dawn.
Yeah, Deal Field Chronicles. That's a decent sale. Oh man, wait, I don't own this? Okay, this is going on the cart.
Yeah, I got that when it was on the sale for $5.
I might have the physical for this one. I'm not sure. That's why I'm just put it in cart, not just
Yeah.
DuckTales. Do you get both
How long is
DuckTales
the
with
sale
this?
going? You get all 4 games. You get DuckTales, you get Chippendale,
Got the Rewind
um,
one, Chippendale. You
what's the
get
other one
both
called?
DuckTales though, because DuckTales 2 is expensive
Oh
for the
god, yeah, like the actual
cart. Yeah,
cardboard.
it's
Yeah.
ludicrously expensive, and it's not anything special. It's like one of those. It's one of those NES games that you're just like, no, yes, I've watched it. And then there's remastered, which is a mixed bag. Actually, this one's worse. I do
I
not
love
like.
that they have Castle of Illusion. I would love if they had the original more.
You know, it's funny. If
That
you pre-order the
SNES game was
original
great.
back in the day, you get the Genesis version, and that's the version I played. Bought it on my PS3 back in the day, and I was like played it
Ooh.
for like 5 minutes. I was like, this is awful. What do you do? What did you do to it? And then I just went and played the original one,
The
Castle
original
of
one's so
Illusion.
good.
It's so good.
King of Fighters is a decently good sale right
King of
now.
Fight, yeah, $20.
75% off.
Yeah, 25 or 28. What do you get
Yeah.
in the what's it bonus?
I
Is
think
it?
that's 15 for us here.
It comes
I
with
know
the
there's costumes. Oh,
team
you get the
pass.
Team 1 pass.
Okay. That's not bad then. Rubble! The Rumblefish 2.
No one. One is illegal.
Trigger happy. Danganronpa.
Hercules. I like how the other two were Danganronpa, but this one's Trigger Happy Danganronpa, so it's way at the bottom. That's a great game.
Yeah,
I have the
Piranha
sequel to.
4.
I mean, not the sequel. The Revolution too.
Yeah, I own this. I have a physical for this one. Oh, Zero Time
I
Dilemma's on
also.
like 50% off. This is the one I haven't played yet.
It's great. I love all 3 of them. That game is a lot of fun.
I like the first one the best so far, and I've thousand. The first one. It's one of my only thousands. Right there with Fallout 3.
Nice. Yeah, the I have to replay the second one. I don't remember as much about it, but I remember liking it the least of the 3.
It kind of drags because there's so many like
Yeah.
side paths on stuff. Is it really $10? I spent so much more on that physical. Whatever.
Wait, go up one more row.
One more row.
Before that one.
Orochi
Yeah, one
Warriors
more.
3 for Ultimate.
World of Final Fantasy is on a good sale, but I also, feel bad for people buying it because
And
Square.
I believe our favorite thing Disney needs to port. Yeah, Hercules. Hercules is great. I think all the what ones are missing?
The early
There's
Disney
also
ones.
the PC ones because there was that really weird because I had one of them. There was Shadow Mallard. What is the name of that? It was a weird. It was like a ninja one, and oh my goodness, what was it called? It was like not Dreamlight Valley. I'm talking about the old ones. The old. Give me the retro ones. Retro games.
Wait, are you looking on your phone or on the stream?
Remake Aladdin. Oh,
I was just thinking that the Genesis one and the SNES one, how they're like 2 entirely different games.
aren't they in a collection together and you get both versions? I know that
I think so, but I don't
retro
remember
Disney games. Let's
when
see
it
here.
released.
Oh god, these are not what I'm looking for. Are these mobile like online games? You play in the I don't want your ads. Quantum Chase. Okay, these are just ones you play on the these are the old like they had them flash games basically.
Hmm.
No, it was like I never actually played it, but I remember seeing ads for it. like it was like a ninja or something character. It's like an original character. I've never seen this character in any like Disney cartoon.
OC, do not steal.
Basically, OC Do Not Steal, but it looked like Ninja Donald Duck. Actually, does Quackshot have one? Quackshot better have one. Quackshot is like pinnacle. All right, I bet you it's not here. There was just add-ons at the end. Quackshot. No. Okay, the fact that Quackshot does not have a modern. Nah, man, Quackshot was where it's at. That is like one of the greatest Disney games of all time. The greatest Disney Metroidvania games that ever existed.
Quackshot?
Yes, Quackshot starring Donald Duck. It was a Sega Genesis exclusive.
I love
Darkwing
it.
Duck had interesting games, for sure. I think, honestly, you could just do new games with these characters.
Oh, yeah. But new games are scary. They can't guarantee me money.
Yeah, so you just make terrible early access racing games with Disney IP characters.
And everyone loved it.
Oh, wait, what was that other one? Oh, no, I don't want those. No. People, just give me a list of the old Disney games, because there's a bunch of them that are missing. Disney Classic games? GOG's got some? No, those
I
are...
mean, they already made Nickelodeon Smash Bros. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a Disney one.
I mean, the Castle of Illusions was a sick game. There was World of Illusions. There was Disney Smash Brothers would be so weird.
I can see it happening.
I'd actually be happier if it was like a South Park game that did it, but made fun of it and had the mouse. You don't talk to me like that, you little shit.
I love
slap
Jack
someone.
Mickey and South Park Mickey.
South Park Mickey versus real Mickey. I don't talk like that.
I don't know who would win. Does real Mickey get his Keyblade?
The mouse. Yes, Mr. Mouse. Oh my god. Yeah, I have the classic game collection. I do not have the after school collection, it seems. But I don't know. Disney's got a gold mine of old games they could do. Like there was that Toy Story one I had on PC that was decent.
Yeah, I think there's actually one we got on backwards compatible.
Aladdin versus the Mandalorian. Mickey versus Wolverine.
See, the second one's a hard fight. Aladdin versus Mandalorian, everyone knows Aladdin wins that one.
Well, it's a 4v4. It's sorry, I read it wrong. It's Aladdin versus Mandalorian versus Mickey versus Wolverine. It's a free for all.
That one's hard. Oof.
I think Mandalorian actually comes out on top there. Does he get the baby or not? If you've got Space Baby, that's a huge advantage. Do we get all the Star Wars Vision characters too? Because those would be sick.
Are we talking about
It's his own
90s
character.
Wolverine who goes buh 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 buh? Or are we talking about like, current Wolverine? What's going on, bub?
The one who smokes and
Yeah.
smokes and
What, he's
drinks
seen some
and don't
shit?
come home at all. Yep.
He'll be back when he finds the milk and gets his cigs. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a creature of his time. That's anime. By anime, do you mean we're talking like 98?
Oh yeah, the X-Men animated series.
98? Yeah. I'm still plugged in. That's my favorite line from the animated series. If you don't know what episode that's from, or you don't know what the context is for it, I'm sorry.
Was that from
But
the mid 2000s one or the 90s one?
it's from '98. It's pretty early too. It's a really funny scene. It's like a 2011 anime. I don't think I've watched that one, but
I'm interested to see what Wolverine thinks in an anime.
was that
He's
the one?
Canadian.
Well, Alpha Force exists, in comics and stuff, and I'm like, whatever. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but I really hope Disney would bring back like Aladdin. Yeah, Aladdin's a good one too. I could. No,
Yeah.
Aladdin. Hercules. I looked at Hercules and it's like
I knew what you
there's
meant
also
though, because
there was also a Tarzan game.
Yeah.
They're bringing back X-Men '98. Actually, I don't know when, but it's
I had
coming
heard
back.
that.
Yeah, they're gonna
I
finish
haven't
the
seen
arc.
anything from it in a while though.
Yeah, they're gonna finish the arc because there was a comic book that came up after it, Little Mermaid. I don't
There's a
remember
lot of those that have been happening recently, where like something's been dead for 20 years, and they're like, "But what if we bring it back now?"
the
I'm
thing
out of
that's.
new ideas.
I actually was listening in on it, but the thing is, like the current generation, because things move so fast, they have no
Yeah, they don't
nostalgia
know
for
about it.
anything. So they use
Yeah,
like '90s nostalgia. So they're like, life would have been better if I was born in the '90s. That's the way they like think. So they're like
which is
super
insanity to hear.
nostalgic for '90s things. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I would
I
assume
mean,
we'll
I'm
hear.
nostalgic for it because that was my childhood.
I also think X-Men '98 coming back is awesome, and I hope
Oh, I'm
that
excited.
yeah. Oh man, don't blame me. Oh yeah, I don't blame them at all. They'll probably still go for decent money. Like it's a beloved series. Like honestly, I don't think any animated series was as good as it. And it's not to be like, oh, it was just the best at the time. It's just everything afterwards was blah.
The writing wasn't as good.
It was. It didn't like lead into stuff too. Like the writing was bad in '98 and stuff. Like the way Storm
Oh yeah, but
talks.
there are things that made up for it.
Oh,
What's wrong with the way Storm talks?
oh my god, just so over the top. I I
Yeah.
absolutely love it, and it works as like a comic book. It's like a comic book show, but like when you have a character named Mr. Sinister,
Look,
it's
Mr.
so good.
Sinister has a reason for being so sinister. Now, Mr. is, maybe he didn't earn that, but he earned the sinister part.
Dr. Sinister. You say you should be a doctor?
Professor
Did he go to
Sinister.
Sinister doctor school? I don't know. I'm just being weird at this point.
Professor Sinister.
I don't know. I definitely think it'll be interesting to see what happens with X-Men from here because I don't think like even after um like even after like the Fox movies, they weren't a lot of
The
people don't
Fox movies almost killed them.
well the original I'm talking about the original too.
Hmm.
I think they were interesting, but not I don't know. They were like fine for the movies, but they don't feel like X-Men. They feel like if someone was like, here's what the concept of the X-Men are, and then you let someone else write that has never watched like the '90s show, when you should have probably based it off of the '90s show rather than
Yeah. Well, that's what Spider-Man did right at the time. It was
oh
the
man,
first comic book kind of movie that wasn't trying to be something new. It was trying to be what it is. And that's why it succeeded so well. Plus, it
man.
had
Can we
Sam
talk
Raimi
about
to
how
help.
good the Spider-Man cartoon was?
The 90s animated one.
Yes,
So good.
Spider-Man.
I also love that the voice actor went insanely hard. And I know it's a meme, like he didn't have to go that hard, but I'm talking about like when he's chasing the Shocker and he loses his fucking mind, or when he loses Mary Jane, like the clone version. She turns to water, and he's like, "Meow!" and he just screams at the top of his lungs. That guy did 120%. He was
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was great. Like you had the thing is he had range though. It wasn't just like always
Oh
on.
yeah. No, there was a lot of voice actors back then that I want to look up and learn more about because they were really good, but they didn't get the recognition that they do today. And don't get me wrong, there's still a long way to go between people taking voice actors more seriously so that they're respected and not just
Yeah, like this
cartoon guys.
we're not in Japan where
Yeah,
people are
exactly.
respected.
But it's definitely better than it was, and hopefully it continues to get a little better.
That's the funny thing though. Like if like if they were to re-release I don't know if X-Men has a thing. Hold on. Reminds you of the old Spite. Oh, yeah. That show had such a cool look too, even though it had the weird like part CG sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because that was kind of the style at the time.
Yeah, there's so many Spider-Mans. Ultimate, spectacular, amazing. All the
I
adjectives.
remember Ultimate. I also remember the Iron Man cartoon, which was weird because he was actually an alcoholic in it.
Did you know there's
The
an
Deadpool
anime one going on right now? It's
for
got like two younger kids. It's like a shonen. Um,
yes,
it's
yes,
like
I
half
know the
cartoon,
one.
half anime. Yeah, it's got like two OC characters and then the Iron Man group and all the Avengers, but then also weird casts of characters together.
Yeah, I seen. I think my mom was watching it at some point. It didn't seem that interesting though.
I
Oh,
caught some clips and I thought it was pretty cool, but I also have no idea what the main plot is.
it's here.
I saw Deadpool became Jesus and ascended. That was interesting.
Deadpool could just be in anything. And I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think he
Deadpool
became
is
Buddha Pool or
untapped.
something. There was like a reference to something there. Deadpool's really great when he's not just a meme and people realize he's an interesting character.
But he's both a meme and an interesting character at the same time.
Yes, but people usually don't realize that. They think he's only one or the other. And it makes me sad.
I still love when he gives porn to Apocalypse's son. It's just like takes all the books that beats him and gives him porn. Uh, uh, yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, as much as I love the weird comic book talk and such, I gotta go
Yeah,
eat
we're
my
getting a little
dinner.
off track.
Yeah, we're way off track.
Yeah.
We've gone way off track. Bottom
I
line,
am
Redfall
sad.
is not as bad as everyone says it is. Play
And
it
I
if you
definitely didn't
have
get
the advance.
distracted and start playing it near the end here.
No, he's playing it
Wasn't
right
me.
now.
No.
He's playing it right now.
I saw something and I wanted to get the achievement, so I did.
Make sure you didn't
I
miss
got
it.
jumped by a blood bag. Oh, I'm getting a phone call now
Aww.
myself. 1 second.
All right, I'm just gonna end it when it's there.
Sounds good.
So everyone have a good week. We'll see you next time for I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week. Everything, anything, we don't care. We've got a topic. Till then.